Press go.
She goes, I was going to have you pick. We have a mouse that's... Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is December 29th, 2017, and it is the very last Friday of 2017, by the way. Yes. So, considering the fact that we normally do a weekly roundup, trying to cover the top stories of the week, Leah had the idea.
A yearly roundup.
Why not talk about and get your opinions on what happened this year, the top stories and whatnot. And where we are.
This was the most eventful year in my life.
In my life.
In my lifetime.
First of all, etiquette-wise, I need to apologize for us being late. We're getting a lot of snow right now, and I was driving back from I was running for some errands. I didn't know the snow was coming. Call me stupid. I don't know.
I told you it was snowing. Take the Jeep.
I know, but I didn't know it was going to be... I thought it was going to be like flurrying.
I told you 2 inches.
Flurries.
Not like Erie with 5 feet.
Usually in Ohio, everybody does pretty good, and they were driving slow, which I'm glad that they were. I like cautious drivers, but it took me twice as long to do everything, and I couldn't race back here to get everything set up. So, I'm sorry. I apologize. As
everyone is showing up before we dive into our year-end review,
they all like the glasses. Aren't they so cute?
These are, I actually wear glasses. Many of you don't know this. I wear contacts.
Let's have it. Let's show the viewers why Michelle doesn't. I don't wear glasses because I don't need them, but
they're sharp.
Your vision's not that bad. Like, seriously.
That's why.
Leah looks much more studious in them, I think, though.
People you try on other people's glasses, your vision's not so bad, but try actually not seeing the pictures on the wall.
Well, okay. Well, but I've tried on some people's glasses, and you're like, get off.
Yeah. So, anyways, I got these new glasses for Christmas.
Yay! She was worried when she pulled them out.
Debut them. They're a bit intense, y'all.
We ordered them. We always order. I say we because I don't have glasses, but I'm part of the family. And so we get Kansas's glasses, Patriot Gallery's glasses, and Leah's glasses online. So you don't know. It's kind of like lapis lazuli.
Zenni Optical is really inexpensive. I think we got 4 pairs for under like $65 or $70.
So what says that you look like Christina Applegate, and that is a compliment?
Okay, I will take it. I will take it. Hello. So what?
Redneck says that you look like Janine from Ghostbusters. I can see that.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So it has been the craziest year. I have to tell you, but you guys know our beliefs. I believe that God sent us the idea via Patriot Gallery to do Resistance Chicks just in time for 2017.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's been the most monumental, groundbreaking. What are you looking for?
Where's Sydney?
Where is Sydney?
I just want to make sure that we don't lock another dog outside because
Okay, first of all, I just raced home and set all this up. I was not my dog's keeper.
Hopefully Matt's got an eye on Sydney.
I'll go check.
I took a shower a little bit ago. I am clean. I have on fresh clothes for you people. I haven't worn these ones yet. So there you go. If you didn't see the end of last episode, I had been, wearing some of the same outfit for a while, being out in the cold. So anyways, I took a shower, and our dog Jasper, she's a Siberian Husky who does like the snow. She's getting older, so she doesn't like to do the steps to go outside like she used to. So we put her out front on a chain sometimes, just because she just likes to just sit out there. We have a huge fenced-in backyard, but she likes to just go out the front because there's no, there's only 2 little steps. But anyways, I don't normally leave her out there for more than like 10 or 15 minutes, and took a shower, piddled around, and then 30 minutes later, I hear her like, yoop, yoop, and I'm like, Jasper, I'm so sorry. She came in like, it's okay, but like, I wanted to come in a little bit ago, and then she asked to go back outside. So, I also thought it would be funny to share with you all that I probably should be, considering as many calories I have burned, and Michelle and I have burned in the past week, being outside in the cold and the snow and cold, hours and hours and hours. Did you find the dog?
I think Matt said she's outside with him in the snow. She just went out.
Oh, Sydney's outside in the snow. But, however, Michelle and I have not lost a bazillion pounds from burning, like, literally, like,
Speak
I feel
for
like
yourself. I'm very
10,000 calories. But the reason we haven't is because when we used to make cookies, right?
Look at you got jewelry on and everything. Look nice you look.
Christmas
you
jewelry.
really look nice.
Patriot Gallery said, please wear jewelry. So she actually bought me these for Christmas. This is for Mom. Just this, yeah. So, so anyways, we used to make cookies for people, and then we found out how bad white flour and white sugar and margarine were. So then we made like the next year,
because margarine, when you make cookies with the margarine, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But buying butter to make like real sticks of butter to make cookies for people, forget it. I don't like people that much.
So for like the past 3 or 4 years, we just haven't made cookies for people, and we've been making natural products. And unfortunately, the rest of the world hasn't been converted to the natural, healthy eating. And so they're like, where's the cookies? Yeah. So this year we decided, you know, for a few of our friends and family who don't eat the whole wheat, healthier stuff that we make, we would make some white-ish flour. It's whole wheat flour, but it's like whole wheat white flour, and we would use butter and we would make stuff. However, I ate them too, and then I realized why I don't eat them anymore, because like at the end, I ate them for breakfast one day. Because actually we make healthy cookies for breakfast, so they're like, you can eat them for breakfast.
That's pretty much what I live on. They're Leah's healthy
not
cookies.
Really,
I eat
they
them for
are
breakfast,
cookies, but they're really
for
healthy.
lunch, I eat them for a snack.
I make them with yogurt and whole wheat flour and, you know, pastured eggs and molasses and honey and things like that. So they're, and nuts and raisins. So they're really good for you.
Right.
Not so much the regular cookies.
But hang on though, because yes, the regular cookies are not good for you. But I'm going to be honest, as much as they are yummy, they're not as good they're not as flavorful. Because when Leah bicycles on the grain mill for the wheat, that wheat has so much more flavor. So those cookies are, these ones I kind of thought were a little bland with the regular flour.
At like 4:30 at the end of the day, one day, I was like, I can't do this again. I'm so shaky. I tried. So anyways, that's just a...
You really wanted to go into all that to tell them we haven't lost weight, even though we're doing all this hard work because we're eating like junk stuff.
I just want to let them know that we're normal people who do eat junk stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Let me tell y'all something, and I know some of our viewers are going to get mad at me.
And
Leah's going to get mad at me for telling you guys this, but I was like, you know what? I'm stopping by McDonald's the other day. We were rushing. We were getting ready for Christmas, shopping, packaging. I went through McDonald's, and because my uncle still eats it, and Kansas will eat it if we make him. And I ordered 2 large fries. Well, when I got to the window, they said I had ordered 4 large fries. And I said, did I pay for those? And the guy was like, yeah. And they already had them in the bag. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. Just give them to me. So I was like, this is great. We're going to go home. We're going to have extra French fries. And I get out of the van, and they had loaded down my bag so heavy. I grabbed the bag by the top, and it was wet outside, and my fries and everything went all over the ground. It was so sad. It was like, my fry. And then, you can't even sin. Whenever you're trying to sin and do something bad, God makes it. So, I mean, there was like, we still could eat. Some of the fries were still in there, but it was pretty sad.
I like French fries. Just McDonald's has 17 ingredients. It's supposed to be a potato and oil. What's up with that?
Your boss says all blokes eat Mackie D's.
Don't eat it here in the United States. I don't think they have 17 ingredients in the UK. It's like McDonald's is healthier, like everywhere else.
It totally is.
In Israel, they like have like whole wheat buns and stuff. It's really weird.
All right, so what's the top story we're going to start with? The inauguration?
Trump's inauguration, and how amazing it is that Donald Trump is president. I mean, that is the top story. So I have a little clip here where he references God. It is probably from the articles that I've read, Trump references God more than probably any president besides going back to like Abraham Lincoln or something.
I love it.
Here's Bubby. Did you have a good time in snow?
They both came in looking like snow angels.
All right, so we need
volume.
We don't have. I had it a second ago.
No, you didn't.
I thought I did.
Hang on.
Oh, got to turn it on. Oh, I know. It was coming out the TV. I don't know why I have my British accent. Okay, here we go.
The Bible tells us.
The Bible tells us
how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity.
Yes.
We must speak our minds openly, debate our disagreements honestly, but always pursue solidarity. When America is united, America is totally unstoppable. There should be no fear. We are protected, and we will always be protected. We will be protected by the great men and women of our military and law enforcement. And most importantly, we will be protected by God.
I really should reference, but I will. One of our very first videos that were viral was Bill Clinton checking out Ivanka Trump, which was and Hillary Clinton
got
giving him
I don't
the
even know how
side
many
eye.
views it is at right now, but within days it already had 75,000 views, and that was, I mean, obviously within the first month of us launching.
Yeah, it was
Resistance
it was pretty funny.
chicks.
So I also, as part of the inauguration,
Oh, this was so great. Whoa, that's loud. There we go.
they gave former President George Bush a poncho,
And he couldn't get it.
Just
He couldn't get it on.
struggle
correctly.
with that thing, man. Here we go.
We had so much fun covering this. Oh my gosh, it was so great. that face, whoever captured that one. Oh my gosh.
The guy behind him is cracking me up. He wears cowboy hat. He's cool. He's like, "Are you okay, man?"
No, I can't. I cannot figure it out. It's too much for Bush
So that was
to figure out the
that was
poncho.
pretty awesome.
Oh my gosh.
So I want to reference as we're moving on. Obviously, the Russian collusion started to gain steam,
Right.
and then, Bashar Assad was accused of using chemical weapons.
Right.
So this whole thing exploded, and Donald Trump did bomb a small air base in Syria, and 6 soldiers were killed.
Yeah.
And Ivanka Trump was said to have gone to her dad and say, "Oh, the children." And one of the biggest stories, and we covered this the other night with Kari. Go to my Facebook page. I don't know if I have the link up. Go to my Facebook page. I have an article. One of our viewers was in Syria in April.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you just to kind of get a lowdown of what went on in Syria, what's going on in Syria. The White Helmets are not these wonderful peacekeepers that George Clooney... I mean, I guess they got an Oscar and
They're
everything.
fraudulent. I mean, seriously. They go in and they're crisis actors.
They burn the babies and then say,
but they're worse than that because they actually are injuring people.
Right. So we have this top story. And this year, the country we heard about most besides Russia and North Korea is Syria. And before 2016 even, Syria wasn't on our radar.
No,
but obviously
not at all.
it was on the globalist radar.
Because it was one of the countries.
And there is an article out in Zero Hedge today. I guess RT says that American forces are training former ISIS soldiers, rebranding them as another freedom army for another civil war in Syria.
You're kidding.
I don't know if this is fake news or real news, and my gut says it's a small level thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that the world will allow another uprising in Syria to happen, even though I think what this is the globalists are they're not done yet. Mm-hmm. They're still hanging on, so they still have people in this region.
Yeah.
And they still have some money to be spent. So there's still going to be, Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the United States and even Israel. There are globalists in these countries who wanted to destabilize Syria. The Kari came across a woman who was the media person for Bashar Assad. Said they have a document from 1986 that says that the United States wanted to split Syria in 3. We do know that Syria was on the list of 7 countries in 5 years to destabilize. Libya and Gaddafi being one of those. And we know that there's slavery now as a result of this in Libya, which nobody seems to be talking about right now. I want to take you to a story that I got the idea from CBN News. We used to watch CBN News. They are really actually good journalists. if you guys, I mean, it's Christian broadcasting, and I'm not a big fan of Pat Robertson. However, he does have good journalists on his team.
Agreed.
And the journalism that the CBN does is top notch.
Yeah.
It's really, really good journalism. And I love their journalistic stories because they do truthful stories that you know that they're not going to be doing fake stories. At least, you know, Pat Robertson is a quirky old man. I'm not a big fan of his. I grew up on Christian television, stuff like that. I think, but anyways, I want to warn people before I send them there.
Okay.
When they watch CBN, you're going to see a quirky old man. But the journalism is great. And this one story I did not know of this year, and so I'm going to bring you a little known story this year. And in Uganda, there is a child sacrificing epidemic. And I want to play for you this video to bring awareness. This is a story that came out in March.
On our... Okay.
No,
say it.
Okay.
It's a little after 2 in the morning, about an hour's drive south of Kampala. CBN News has joined undercover detectives, armed police, and a pastor hunting for a witch doctor accused of kidnapping and killing children.
Oh my gosh.
Witch doctors believe that when you kidnap a child, you get wealth, you get protection.
Pastor Peter Siwakiyanga leads the search. He runs Champesi Child Care Ministries, a Christian effort to stamp out child sacrifice in Uganda. He describes the witch doctor's brutal ritual.
When they get a child, most times they cut the neck, they take the blood out, they cut the genitals or any body organs that the spirits want. In a sense, it involves the child dying.
A few hours in, the trail for the killer goes cold. Pastor Peter says these gruesome crimes happen almost each month.
And there are very few actually that survive. Most of them die.
Wow.
I'm going to skip a few parts.
In the morning when we
This is a mother whose son.
Mafundo said the key suspect turned out to be Kasingo's neighbor, a wealthy businessman who allegedly hired 2 men to kidnap and mutilate Clive's body, believing the act would bring good luck to his new hotel project. Detective Mafundo said the suspect paid the equivalent of $1,400
No.
for Clive's life.
Found it so clear
He found
how
it so
someone-
clear how someone,
because of superstition,
because of superstition,
can be able to sacrifice a 3-year-old
could sacrifice a
kid.
3-year-old.
Child sacrifice today in Uganda is such a serious and widespread problem that the government has even set up an anti-child sacrifice and human trafficking task force. Chief Investigator Moses Binoga says that in addition to decapitation, witch doctors often slice the child's tongue and mix it with herbs for special powers.
Are you
The tongue-
serious?
Now, I want to make an observation here that we know that the Clintons are into witchcraft.
Yes.
We know that
That's not fake news. For
No.
anybody that thinks that that's fake news, it is absolutely
they
real.
honeymooned in Haiti.
Yeah.
They honeymooned in Haiti and took part in witchcraft rituals.
Yeah.
That is historic.
Yes.
We know that there's a lot of crazy things going on with the Clintons, and she has friends who have come out as real witches and practicing witchcraft.
She's
and,
definitely into witchcraft. Yes.
Maria Abramovich. My point is that we haven't been able to pin the tail on the donkey when it comes to elite child sacrifice, and when we say it so much,
Right.
we become desensitized
Desensitized
to
to it.
it. However, I wanted to put this story out here because these Africans don't have the connections to hide it. They don't even have the intellect to hide it.
Right.
You know, but there are people who still believe that you will get power through
Right.
sacrificing children. We know
Right.
that in Haiti.
But it's not just in Haiti, though. You know what I mean? There are people in the United States that still ascribe to this.
Right. That was what I was getting to and then we never really actually played the actual video. Or yeah, we did. I think we played parts of it. There was an elite banker who came out and said that he was asked to be part of this child sacrificing ring.
Right.
And So I just want you guys to know that this stuff does happen. Pedogate is real. And
but Pedogate wasn't just about,
well, you're talking about Pizzagate probably.
Excuse me. All the pedophilia that was going on within I want to say the elites this year that kind of came out but never fully came out.
Right.
It wasn't just about pedophilia. I mean, there was witchcraft and satanic rituals.
Well, the Podesta in the
involved.
WikiLeaks emails, there were 3 children that were supposed to show up at a pool party.
Yeah.
Different terms for pizza and different things that shouldn't be in those emails. And then if you have seen Tony Podesta, which is John Podesta, his brother's art gallery.
Right.
It's all like child pornography, weird child abuse, and Comet Pizza. Their website was filled with weird child pornography type drawings and things.
Yeah, and that was huge.
Is used to silence enemies.
Mike Chibitam is Uganda's top law enforcement official, the equivalent of America's Attorney General. He says superstition and the desire to get rich quick contribute to high child sacrifice rates in his country.
The connection is these witch doctors come and tell people who want to get rich that in order to get rich, you need to sacrifice human blood.
Best friends Kanani Nankunda, George Mukisa, and Alan Simbatia are fortunate to be alive, but bear the physical and emotional scars of their past.
On their neck and on their head.
The 3 are child sacrifice survivors.
Wow.
A few years back, Kanani and his 7-year-old sister were attacked in the bush. He has a 10-inch scar on the back of his neck where the witch doctor tried to drain his blood.
I fainted, and when I regained consciousness, I found my sister dead with her head missing.
2 men attacked Alan Simbatia on his way home from school.
I tried to scream for my parents, but my voice was not strong enough for them to hear me.
They stabbed his neck, sliced his head with a machete, then castrated him. Alan remained in a coma for 2 months after his miraculous rescue. George Mukisa's mother found him lying in a pool of blood after a man castrated his privates with a blunt knife. Doctors had to reconstruct his genitals with skin grafted from his forearm. The boys say they encourage each other to look past their physical challenges.
Listen to this.
God is helping us in many different ways. When we think about what happened to us, we just pray and ask God that this would never happen to anybody else.
The 3 boys are now under Pastor Peter's care. Champisi Child Care Ministries is the only organization in the country providing long-term financial and medical care for survivors of child sacrifice.
We want to say that the life of a child who has survived is supported, that they are socially able to stand and heal from the injuries, and that they can have a life after that.
Rachel Kasigo says life without Clive will never be the same. Still,
So I wanted to highlight that because it kind of goes in with one of their big stories, the Pizzagate, the Pedogate, and the fact that
Well, I think
go ahead.
the censorship of stories like this, how we can go to CNN and we can hear Trump, Russia collusion over and over and over again. And if you were to ask them, why aren't you covering these types of stories? Well, we don't have the time.
Well, why don't
we don't have the airspace? Oh, really? You can talk about Trump 24 hours a day.
And this is what makes me so angry that I just blows my mind. Where you have black people in America and you've got white people in America who believe that the police in America are all the police are bad, pigs. And so you have these football players kneeling, to raise awareness of police brutality, and that's why Kyle Kaepernick was kneeling. However, why don't we see people really bringing out Black Lives Matter? See, this is what I can get behind. If the NFL were kneeling to bring awareness to children being sacrificed in Africa,
but
that would bring the country together.
But that's not a race issue. Because these are black people performing these horrendous things on these black children, and they're not trying to bring awareness
They're
to the
trying to
suffering
bring
of black people.
racial divide
Bingo.
and hatred.
Right.
And that is why NFL ratings are plummeting.
Right.
Because the average American can see through your activism.
Right.
Because we watch things like this and we hear stories that break our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but I am not going to create a whole entire movement if a drug addict is treated badly by the police. I am sorry. Okay? I'm not going to create an entire movement. I might say this is wrong.
Right.
Or but I'm not going to create an entire movement where the entire NFL is kneeling because criminals are treated badly. I don't want anybody to be treated wrongfully. Everybody has a right. But go ahead.
Okay, so I want to get to a couple of the comments here because We Are Borg addressed what our mom had wanted you to talk about. And she says, abortion is women's supremacy and demonic. It's acted out on the most innocent, no different than this horror story.
Absolutely.
And then Otto had said, there are over 2,000 black babies aborted every day. It's a huge issue. So we can combine two things while covering this.
Well, absolutely.
The fact that abortion itself is child sacrifice.
Yes.
It's exactly what it is. It's demonic. The devil, we think to ourselves, child sacrifice doesn't exist anymore. Well, even if this didn't exist, abortion is still child sacrifice. The devil is the same throughout history. He doesn't change. He just wants babies to die.
And so
we see that in abortion. He is still succeeding there, and hopefully not for long.
There is a very witty African woman on Twitter. I follow her. I'm gonna get her pronunciation wrong. It's Ebian Yuju Eko. How would you say that?
Ikocha.
She is a passionately pro-life, pro-woman, pro-family, pro-marriage, pro-Africa.
I love it.
And she is constantly talking about Africa. And she is so pro-life. I love this woman, and she is really funny. And so Planned Parenthood Kentucky made this little thing, abortion is healthcare, abortion is healthcare. And then she says, killing a baby is not healthcare, killing a baby is not healthcare. And so I that came up to mind because she's constantly... She has a pinned tweet, which really got me going. I am an African woman. I don't need free condoms. I don't need free contraception. I don't need abortion rights. What I need is education. And that is what I hear a lot from African women.
Right.
Is that you've got the George Soros' people and even like the French president Emmanuel Macron, who they still have some, colonization going on there in North Africa, and they're responsible in a way and they feel responsible. And he said, well, what we have to do is just make these African women stop breeding. It's just totally racist. By the way, he's such a racist. These liberals are so racist. It drives me insane. But when you look at cultural differences between Africa and the West,
right,
what you have, in my opinion, and I'm right in this, when you have God, when you retain God in your mind, then you will be elevated in your mind to treat people right. To create things. God gives us abilities. In the Bible, it talks about God shows a farmer how to farm, shows a builder how to build. And so what you have with Western civilization coming in with Christianity, you have an enlightened culture. And what you had in Africa is these witch doctors, right? Who kept people down. I took a picture of an article from the Wall Street Journal for our dear friend from South Africa, Tim. And it's an article from South Africa in which I guess they still, the bride's family gets the money. What's that word I'm looking for? They get payments or whatever. What's the word I'm looking for when families pay a dowry? Got it. So they pay like this dowry, right? And I should show you. I wonder if Wall Street Journal will come up. I should show it to you. Anyways, in this article, on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, I don't get it. I was found it somewhere.
You was found it?
I found it
Did you just say that?
I didn't want to say
I
where
was
I was
found
reading it. I didn't want to say where I was
somewhere.
reading it.
I was not reading it. I was found it.
I was. I'm not even going to touch that. I'm a bad joke. So, anyways, in South Africa, they're supposed to bring a bunch of cash. The man is supposed to bring a bunch of cash.
And they burn incense, and all of it is a ceremony so that the family will accept...
the dead ancestors will accept.
Whatever. So the new bride will be accepted into the family.
No.
The new groom will be accepted into her family.
Right, by the ancestors.
The dead people.
The
dead
people.
Yeah.
And so what they're saying is this one woman want to do electronic payments now because they don't want to go through these bad parts of town with wads of cash.
Mugged and they would all be stolen. And what's the point?
But this particular tribe of people are very anti-white and never accepted the white minority, right? And so they're obviously operating in satanic worship because they really believe that they are connecting with their ancestors through this influence, and they need to have the money there to show the ancestors, hey, he's bringing money in, let him in, right? So the bride-to-be is trying to be modern, says, no, send me an electronic transfer. The family finally accepts, the uncles and the dad finally accept the electronic transfer of money, but then the article ends by, please send sheep.
Here's my question, though.
Send sheep.
If she would have been the one walking the money through this awful part of town, why didn't the groom just bring it himself?
I don't know. That's a really good question. But there was so much loaded in that article I wanted to bring to you guys because, number one, you guys are always sending me articles about the white minority in South Africa and the genocide there. Like, they're going into the farms, they're killing the Boers.
And they are.
Tim is from South Africa. We spoke to him. He hasn't been there for years. He left there because of the unrest and the instability and how unsafe it was. And the Boers, the white minority there, they came from Europe. They were deeply devout Christians.
Right.
And so what you had was a clash between, it's not just my opinion, satanic worship.
Agreed.
And Christianity.
And that's where the hate comes from. And Leah and I were talking about this the other day. It really doesn't have anything to do with the color of skin.
Right.
It has everything to do with they are deeply seated in satanic worship. And when the power of God comes in, that is why they are so violently against these people.
And that's how they can be so violent. And then what you have in response, the white minority who are Christians, to protect themselves, enclose themselves.
Right.
Now, is that, I'm not going to say that who is right or who is wrong in the way that they handle the situation there, right?
Right.
But people migrate. And there was nobody in South Africa in that particular area. How come refugees are allowed to go north, but Europeans can't go south?
Exactly. And this is part of migration that I don't understand. Mm-hmm. Okay? Whether it's people coming to the United States and somehow stealing all the land from the Native Americans or whatever. Okay? You got to admit, like 400 years ago, the world was not nearly as populated as it is now. And especially North America was not populated. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
there was room for people.
And I don't get it. I don't get why everyone is so angry at, like, let's say the white Europeans going to South Africa or the, Europeans coming here and stealing land from the natives.
It is the most hypocritical thing. So you see everyone saying, bring in the refugees and bring in people.
But those are the same people that would be like, man, we should never have come to America. Like, it was just so bad.
Or we shouldn't have left for South Africa. It's okay. Let's bring in all the Africans into Europe.
But Leah, that's all reparation. Okay, so we have a lot to cover if we're going to get through a year worth of stories. And I think that this can segue into, and we can touch this on a broad brushstroke, and that is the, I'm just going to say ridiculousness that is Black Lives Matter that happened this year. I mean, it really exploded this year. And why did it happen? I don't even know. What are your guys' thoughts?
The NFL kneeling, that's a huge story this year. the NFL ratings went down. I'm happy that the ratings are going down. I actually have our cousins are big football fans, and they're upset.
They're upset about it.
Their game is being ruined. They just want everybody to stop and be quiet.
Right.
They are upset that the president tweeted anything out about it.
And that's the thing, because one of our cousins was like, I know how he feels that the players should kneel, but he also is upset that Trump made a big deal about it. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? There are more important things like principle in life than football. But to a lot of American people, there is nothing more important. Principle is not more important than football. You're ruining the entire game. Just let sleeping dogs lie. If somebody's going to make a racial division and stuff like that, it has to be able to be talked about.
Obama and Clinton, they did the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. And you have a lot of black people who call it out. And it does make it easier when a black person calls them out. I actually like Candace Owens, Red Pill Black. I know a lot of people don't want, she was kind of a liberal before. Bring her in. Joy Villa, that's a whole other story. I guess she's turned crazy or something like that. She was never, I don't know. But there's so many wonderful black, conservative, libertarian-minded people who are like, this isn't about black people, by the way.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's just one of one of the few big things that happened this year. Hang on. Any news on Soros? Was it true or a rumor? Unfortunately, it was a rumor.
Rumor
has it that George Soros had a heart attack and he didn't.
So while we're on in this particular vein, because other big stories are the Houston flood.
Say Perfect says the NFL is a business, no longer a sport these days. Well said, Say.
See, thank you, Say. Good job.
They just so happen to be black, their family. So Say has a real say in this.
More Say. There's a pun for Say there.
Yeah, Say.
Punny men. So talking about African and Muslims, we're going to segue into I like another CBN article. They put it together. The Islamic takeover, why mass immigration signals the end of Britain.
And I'm hoping that it can turn around. So I hate to talk about hopelessness because a lot of our Brits are like, I got to get out of here. It's never going to change. And I'm hoping that that's not true.
Here's the thing.
It seems true.
It's not a racial issue, but it is a religious issue. Okay?
Right.
Because Christians, we believe in life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, and John Locke and William Blackstone and all these great minds that our founders took from many great English scholars and lawyers and lawmakers who took giant leaps forward for the rights of the individual man. They still have that monarchy thing.
I can understand why people still like it.
But anyways, today, what's her name who does all the Constitution stuff? I shared it. Chris Ann Hall. She was talking about how we aren't a democracy.
We are a republic.
We are a constitutional republic because the difference between a monarchy and a democracy is in a monarchy, one person tells you what your rights are and can either allow you to keep your things or they can take your things. In a democracy, many people can tell you what to do.
Right.
But in a constitutional republic, our rights are a gift from God, which no one can give us and no one can take away.
Bingo.
See how this works?
So hang on, I hate to miss the comments because you guys have to know that we're on a 30-second leg. So if we move on to another comment or topic, and I want to go back to the comments, that's why. Sooks says, footballers, gladiators, what is the difference?
You know what? The thing about football is watching 350-pound men in tights run around with these bellies jiggling up and down. Why is that a thing? How is that a thing? Why not even put them in like some sweatpants? Yeah. Maybe just some sweatpants, but not the tights, because it's like 350-pound ballerinas. It's just not, it shouldn't be a thing.
Say says, I'm not black, I'm dark. And then So What says, I'm not white, I'm just dirty. I'm sorry. I love you guys so much in the comments here. So We Are Borg says, go to numberofabortions.com. Almost 15 billion babies.
1.5.
1.5. I can read. 1.5 billion babies this year. Jim West said, still don't get why anyone not wishing to live by a country's values would choose to move there unless the goal is to force it to change. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Exactly. I think it definitely is. Angry naked postal worker in Dublin, Ohio went postal and killed 2 co-workers. Is that for real?
I did not hear about that.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Weirborg says, sorry, correction, since 1980.
Gotcha.
Close enough.
That's still way too, it's like astronomical. So you have 2 different cultures. It doesn't matter where they're coming from.
Right.
What matters is, do they hold to the same principles that you hold to? And
Correct.
the answer is no. So I'm going to play this video here.
Karachi. It's London. Britain's policy of mass immigration has brought what one expert is calling demographic upheaval to the United Kingdom. It's now a demographic...
Listen, this isn't racist to say. I don't want to walk around and see anybody in a face mask. It better be winter. It better be like -15.
I agree.
To you be wearing a face mask, because what you do when you put on a face mask, you are saying to the world, either I'm a criminal, I'm a bank robber,
Right.
or I have ulterior motives here.
Or I have leprosy.
Or you have leprosy. Exactly. We interact with people. It drives me insane for these Muslim women to go around saying, people don't even try to get to know us. I'm like, do you know how people get to know people?
Facial expressions.
Facial expressions. I don't care if you wear a scarf all around your head, right? But when you cover your face,
right,
we can't see you. We
Right.
don't know who you are. We don't know how you're reacting. We can't really have a conversation. You can't have a good conversation with somebody in person.
Right.
It's like being on the phone with somebody.
Right.
It drives me insane. Just take the thing off your face.
certainty. Someday, the white native English will be a minority in their own country. It's just a matter of when. Also, the native Welsh and the Scots. David Coleman is supernumerary fellow in human sciences and university professor in demography at Oxford. He's written that uncontrolled immigration could lead to a finis Britanniae,
which simply means the end of Britain. And by that I mean the end of Britain as we know it. The change in the number of people, and particularly the change in the origins of the people, in their religion, in their cultural background and everything, would make Britain unrecognizable compared with the present time.
Immigration can strengthen a nation, but several Western nations, including the U.S., are debating the wisdom of large-scale immigration from the Islamic world. And experts are asking what will happen as Muslim numbers continue to grow in officially Christian Britain. In the dystopian masterpiece Children of Men, Britain in 2027 is racked by ethnic division and civil war. Muslim armed gangs fight a government that is hunting down and deporting immigrants and trying to maintain order. Britain's future is not likely to be this violent, but it may not be peaceful either. When the Christian activist group Britain First took large crosses through the English town of Luton last year, angry Muslims confronted them.
It's your country, is it? Yeah?
Your country. It's a Christian country. It's a Christian country. Yes, it is. This is a Christian country.
You're jealous that we're taking over?
Muslims will take over what?
Urban areas are becoming increasingly Islamic, whereas rural areas are becoming increasingly English, and there's a retreat away from these two populations from each other. That's the future that is already happening, that the media isn't interested in.
Policy analyst George Igler says he does not believe it will take 40 or 50 years before the native British are a minority.
This is a nonsense. It's going to be much sooner and more important.
And unfortunately, what you're seeing is in these population, and where the Muslims are coming in, the reason they can afford to live in these cities is they're on welfare programs,
right?
While the native Brits, including Muslims who were there before this influx,
who integrated
right
to Britain,
they're all working and part of the society. It's not a Muslim versus Christian thing. Okay, I just want to make that clear all the time. Right. It's like the new wave feminism, the new wave Muslims that are coming in right? Because we've talked to Horatio, we've talked to some Brits, we've talked to Brit Baza. Before this new wave of immigration, everybody was cool
with Muslims.
The
Muslims were cool.
What I meant was everybody was cool together.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right. Because everybody was kind of working together. But the new wave of Muslims are not... They're not integrating, and they're living off of everyone else in these cities.
Correct.
When you look at places like Luton, we already have an understanding. We already have a window into what this future will be like. It's going to be violence and sexual violence against non-Muslims.
Right.
It's going to be Sharia law.
Muslims are still said to be only 5% of the population, and some experts insist they will never be the majority in Britain. Immigration also includes Christians from Africa. Professor Coleman, who stressed he is not anti-Muslim, but is simply looking at statistics, nevertheless said the changes could be drastic.
This is already manifest because there are strong currents in Muslim society which wish to see Muslim approaches to diet, to marriage, and would like to see Sharia law incorporated formally into British law, or in respect of some extremist groups who would like to see a Sharia law replace British law.
More than 500,000 non-British citizens immigrated to the United Kingdom in 2016. Open borders was a big reason the British voted for Brexit, to leave the European Union. But Coleman says Brexit will not stop immigration from non-European nations. Great Britain was already a factory for terrorists before last week's attack on Westminster Bridge by a British-born Muslim. At least 850 British citizens have left the UK to join ISIS.
We have around 100 Sharia courts in this country. We're the only Western country with a functioning Sharia network of Sharia tribunals and councils. They're dealing with marriages, with divorce, even with criminal matters. They're marrying, as I said, they're marrying children.
If current trends continue, British schools will change when most of the pupils are from non-British backgrounds, as will British foreign policy and military alliances.
England is not going to be England anymore.
The English Defence League, in its street protest against the Islamization of Britain, used to sing, "We want our country back." If current demographic trends continue, it may be too late for that.
Now, the problem that we have is that when you don't have God,
right,
and you see these problems, then you can, like, Tommy Robinson's founded the EDL, but a lot of these guys went and they got angry and they got racist. And you can't say all people of a certain ethnicity or all people of a certain religion are going to act a certain way. However, it is increasingly difficult when you see that all the grooming gangs are from Pakistani men, right? And so when you come across a Pakistani man, you might think to yourself, is this person a part of this grooming gang? And it's just, what?
Nothing.
Okay. It's just, it's part and parcel of living.
Right.
People say don't judge, but we make judgments every day.
Yeah.
When we go to the grocery store, when we take a walk, wherever we go, you make judgments, and your parents teach you this. You are supposed to be aware of your surroundings.
Right. Whatever you want to call it, just as human beings, we kind of dress and act the way that we want to be viewed. And the same goes for criminals.
Exactly.
You could just say, I knew that person was going to, try to lift something off the shelf at the store while I was there because they looked like a criminal. They looked like somebody that they looked suspicious.
Right.
We have to be able to make judgment calls every single day.
Right.
I like what Daniel had said, is that the only thing that will save us now is a Christian revival. Mm-hmm. And I believe that it is on the way. It's in the midst. It's happening right now. And I want you guys to get excited about it, because going over these stories from last year, some of them, it might be easy to just kind of get down, because this segues into, I think we don't even have to bring it up in the background because you guys all know, but we can talk about the London Bridge terror attack. We can talk about the Manchester concert. There were so many, and if you guys think of any other ones, leave them in the comments. There were so many terror attacks
this year.
In Germany, we had what was that, in the subway?
Oh, I don't even know
which one was in Germany.
About.
There was one in Germany at some point. This past year, there have been so many of these attacks that just keep happening. And this year was, I think, a big year for terror attacks. But like John Daniel said, a revival back to Christ, back to God, is what is going to defeat evil. It's the only thing that will defeat evil. And I see hope on the rise. The Berlin market attack. Thank you, worth a look.
1,123 attacks with 7,569 fatalities. Most of them we don't hear about.
Right.
Most of them we do not hear about.
Exactly. Jim West says we lost count of terror attacks this year. There were just different, a lot of this year, the vehicle of choice was vehicles. People wanted to drive cars into crowds of people.
Right.
And it was heartbreaking and devastating. And I don't know what it was this year. They were just kind of on a mission. Was it Trump being elected? Was it the implementation of Brexit? I don't know. But I do believe that there was an extra force for these terrorists, an extra motivation for them to be committing these acts of terror. So that was a lot. That was a big portion of the news this year. So I'm kind of scrolling through the Resistance Chicks videos. The Fort Lauderdale airport shooting, we covered that. Let's see. Jerusalem truck ramming, killing 4. And how ISIS trains children to become killers.
Los Ramblas in Barcelona.
All right, so let's skip ahead to we
Westminster
covered
Bridge,
the inauguration, and I'm just going to kind of go through these, and see the ones that stuck out to me. The Women's March on Washington.
Yeah.
Just after the inauguration, it was they really wanted that to be a huge deal. And what we saw was Madonna getting up on stage saying, "Oh, I've really thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House." We saw Ashley Judd get up there and say, "I'm a nasty woman." We saw pussy hats, literally.
It was the year of what I call the hot dog, because to me, listen, I'm about to be real with y'all.
Oh, geez.
You can draw male genitalia, okay? Artists have done the Statue of David, and actually when we went to Russia, this was hilarious. We went to a lot of museums when we were in Moscow and the surrounding countryside when we were teenagers, and there was this giant room of these beautiful marble statues, and my mom goes in there first. And she's like, "Girls, come on, close your eyes, walk right through." It was literally the biggest room you have ever seen
of porn.
Of naked
marble
men.
Porn.
Naked marble men. Marvel, instead of Marvel comic books, Marvel men. And she's like, "Come on through. This is the room we can't be in." You know, most art is naked people anyways, but like she drew the line at the entire room of like 300 naked statues of men.
Right.
But it was just hilarious to me. But
where is this going? You just said hot dog, and I'm so afraid of what's going to fly out your mouth.
The pussy hat and the drawings of female genitalia.
Okay.
They don't actually look like anything. I have seen the women they look like they're wearing hot dogs in their legs.
That's exactly what they look like. You have just ruined this whole show.
We're just gonna put in Women's March and we're gonna see what happens.
No, please don't. Can we move on? Let me find the next top story.
No, you did it.
I didn't.
You have done it.
I have to move on. What else was there? Meryl Streep's weeping sobby Golden Globe speech. Do you remember that when she was like all upset over Trump and she received her award?
Yes, I remember that.
You really don't have to do that.
Oh, it's okay though, because what they have done really is they have made a mockery of things.
The first time that Trump calls CNN fake news and BuzzFeed garbage during a press conference, he did it a lot after that. But the first time, really wasn't the first time, but I think it was after he was president, and he was like, "You're fake news."
Awesome.
And that was really
nasty woman.
So creepy.
You know what? You know what happens these women in another setting might have a beauty to them, right? But the feminists, because their inner beauty is gone, they just look nasty.
Yeah.
It's like give them a broomstick and a cauldron because they look like witches. It's just absolutely. Linda Sauer has made the headlines this year.
Yeah.
She's a Jew-hating Palestinian evil woman. Here, this right here, with their children.
No, come on.
Hot dog heads.
Dang it.
Hot dog heads. Now, what has to go through your mind?
No.
She feels violated. My middle name is Love. Hands off. And they run into the wall with these jokes. When hands off, no one wants to touch you. You're ugly. You're nasty.
You sound like Milo Yiannopoulos right now.
I know, but they're disgusting. Don't worry. No one wants to touch you. You're disgusting and repulsive. Nasty women. They are. What do you think?
Oh my gosh.
My mom always taught us, watch what you say about yourself.
Right.
Watch what you say about others.
Yeah, because what you say about yourself, like
even
you
when
went to
you're
Bible
joking,
school, right? Leah went to Bible school, and they had this profession of faith that they would say, every single day?
And in one class, yes.
Because and it's really more psychological than anything, but okay, it's a Christian college, whatever. But they would say, I'm rich. What was it? How did it go?
I'm blessed. I can't remember it. I'm highly
favored. And they ended it with, and I'm good looking.
I'm a major blessing.
I'm a major blessing.
They ended it with, I'm a major blessing.
Okay, but it was in there. I'm good looking.
I'm good looking and I'm a major blessing.
I'm good looking and I'm a major blessing.
And there was a Filipino woman
I'm rich,
that was
I'm smart.
I can't remember. But there's a Filipino woman behind me. And everything she said it like with very much emphasis on it as she believed it. And so she said it behind me, and I wish I can remember it. My friends can I'm sure my college friends can remember it. And she like, I am good looking, and I am a major blessing. It's just really funny.
So what you
I'm
profess
very rich
over yourself, it really does affect you. How it affects how you think and how you act.
So be positive in the way that you say about when you talk about yourself, the way you talk about your words have power. And so when you say you're a nasty woman, you will become a nasty woman. And you know what? Girlfriend. All right.
So let me see. What else did we cover? Then we covered obviously the Bill Clinton checks out Ivanka. The inauguration protesters. There were some there. There was, what was kind of big news during the inauguration was the miscount. The mainstream media saying that there was no one there when it was so packed.
Right.
The people that were there were like, oh my gosh, this is incredibly incredibly packed with people.
Right.
So I'm trying to quickly go through some of these because there are so many.
Shia LaBeouf, he will not divide us. That was
and that
hilarious.
still isn't stuck. That's stuck in my head because there's a Christian song on the radio. Maya had sent it to me, and it plays all the time with Mandisa, and she's like, "We all bleed the same," and then it ends with, "So tell me why are we divided?" And every time she says that, now I have Shia LaBeouf in my head because he stood in front of that camera that he set up, and he's like, "You will not divide us." Trump. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. And I was like, dude, this looks like some sort of weird sci-fi movie that you're making.
Do you want me to show them what you're scrolling through?
You could.
Because we kind of...
I'm just under the Resistance Chicks Politics and News playlist on our channel. Let's see. Listen to me. President Trump's first interview from the White House with David Muir. That was pretty... telling. Wasn't that the one where he talked about his opinion on like waterboarding, like torture for getting, you know what I mean, getting when you're interrogating people, I think.
So you went down to the bottom.
Let's see. No, just it'll take you a minute. I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
We've done lots of videos this year, guys.
700 and some odd videos, by the way.
Wow.
Let's see. It's so hard to even scroll through 700 videos. So we have this titled "Young Black Man Schools White Female Anti-Trump Protester About Black Lives Matter," but wasn't that actually what's his name?
It wasn't C.J. Pearson.
It wasn't C.J. Pearson.
But it was the guy that they had that on what was his name? They had him on Alex Jones.
Right.
And I can't remember his name. I was trying to come up
So
with his
that
name.
reminds me of Big Joe.
Yeah.
One of our other videos that kind of went viral in as far as us being brand new on our channel was about Big Joe. And I'm trying to remember which video that was.
Big Joe.
But there was this, if you guys didn't see it and you guys weren't here with us in the beginning, but there was this black man who had no idea that he was walking into the Women's March. And he just kind of gets into it. I don't know if you can just bring up a video of Big Joe to remind people, because we have a lot of viewers that didn't see us in the beginning, didn't get to see some of that stuff. And it was just really, really fun. There it is. You obviously don't have to play the whole thing,
sir,
but
my name is Jeffrey. What is your name?
They call me Big Joe.
They call me Big Joe.
I can see why. Big Joe, what are you doing here today?
I'm just passing through. I have nothing to do with this whatever you want to call this. I don't even understand why they're having this. They had an inauguration yesterday, and now we have all this. What did Trump do for all of this to happen? He just came into office. What is this? I see signs of unity and love and peace. And yet, at his inauguration, they were burning a McDonald's, a Starbucks, limousines, and anarchy in the streets. This is what is this? When he was elected, rightfully, by the majority of the country, that, so even though there are half the country like this that disapprove, what about the other half that do like him? What about them? What about their feelings? When Obama was president and he pushed his political agenda, political correctness, and he pushed all his agendas, did you see people doing all this? No, because we united behind our American president and we stuck it out and everything. So what?
Yeah, can you come in here? Come in here.
Huh?
Come in here. Come in here. Come in.
Trump
Trump was not.
What made him not? When was he not elected?
Oblivious. You're on a bicycle and you're oblivious.
You're on a bicycle and you're oblivious.
What are you talking about? Wait a minute.
What do you think we're here for?
Trump.
We're here to make a change, and people like you
Change?
are the reason there's still a problem.
Listen,
People
I'm
like
against
you.
political
People
correctness.
like you.
No, people like you
People
with
like
your
you.
political correctness
Know your
agenda.
history.
Political
Know your
correctness.
history.
You know
Know
what?
your
Political
history.
correctness
Know
is
all your
un-American.
history for
Why you
women.
think? You know why Trump couldn't get anyone to his inauguration? Because of the McCarthyism Hollywood that was going to stigmatize somebody for supporting Trump. This is the United States of America. You could support Trump and still be without ostracizing. You want to ostracize someone and then you're going to turn around and make life difficult for them? That's political correctness is a disease. I feel sorry for you because Planned Parenthood is a racist system. Margaret Sanger was a Planned Parenthood. You know what? Margaret Sanger thought very low of black people. She thought they were ignorant and they shouldn't exist and reproduce. And you know what Planned Parenthood is about? Planned Parenthood.
You're a liar. She just says you're a liar.
Sterilize black people.
You cannot put down
You should be against Planned Parenthood. We shouldn't be funding any type of Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is a joke. And anyone that doesn't know their history, know your history about Margaret Sanger, the beginning of Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is the most racist organization. Know your history before you start supporting some.
I love that he just totally ignores her.
That's why I'm not a woman. I'm a man, a straight man.
Somebody says I don't think that Big Joe drinks soy.
You know your history about Planned Parenthood. Do you know about Planned Parenthood?
About Planned Parenthood.
Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger, the whole reason for Planned Parenthood was to sterilize black people so they wouldn't reproduce.
There's people it's helping. There are people it's helping.
It changed with the rest of the
Yeah,
world.
okay, so Trump is not a racist. Trump is not all this here. He's not a racist.
There's two words. I'm sorry.
Sorry?
You can't speak
Sorry
those
to
words.
who? What? People that don't support him?
Everybody in the world that he's
People that
offended.
don't support him? I'm not offended by Trump. And half the country is not offended by Trump. So what about them? What about them? What about the rest of the country that's not offended by Trump? What about
This
them?
doesn't get old. Every time I see it, I'm
Well,
just
everybody's
enthralled.
afraid of you guys Because if they stand up for Trump, they're deemed the racist and everything, and everybody's terrified. And you got them doing it because of political correctness and all this craziness. This is wrong. This is the United States of America. You don't like, you say he's not your president, then you shouldn't be here. Leave. Many of those elitist Hollywood people that said they were going to leave, they didn't leave. They're protesting now. You don't like him, you don't want to be here, then leave. This is a free country. What you're doing now, you're going to bring anarchy, and then you know what's going to happen? Martial law. And these freedoms that you're talking about now, you're going to lose them. And then you're going to understand what a real situation. You have people in this group who are socialists, who are anti-American and anti-our freedom, and they're latching on your different causes, and they're playing on your emotions so that they can get you all riled up, so that you can turn around and continue to do what you're doing and divide the country, and then bring about chaos and anarchy so that they can bring martial law. That's what's really going on. Open your eyes and use your head. That's what's happening. I know for a fact, I've seen these socialists in your group. I've seen them at rallies. They even make signs for you people, and you don't understand what's going on. You have to open your head. You better be smart. You might have some good causes and everything, but you need to choose your battles. Trump didn't do anything yet. Choose your battles correctly. Use your head. Huh? Education, what's the problem? What is Trump doing about education? He just got into office. Huh? Education, not for nothing. I'm going to tell you something right now. Everybody is the controlled media. Education has taught you guys that you're following the controlled media, that whoever they demonize, you just automatically follow. If that's what education does for you, then we need to change it. Because you shouldn't be like that. You should be free thinkers, and you should be able to see right from wrong. You don't, because you're following whoever, someone gets on TV and says, this is so, and then you just follow it. That's not using your head. That's not being smart. People, wake up. Be smart. Okay? You want to be logical. You want to be smart. Be smart. But don't follow all this nonsense just because you want to be. There's so many people that supported Trump, but they were afraid to openly support him. But you know when they supported him? In the voting booth. And that's what all of you people didn't understand. A lot of people supported Trump, but they were afraid. They're even your friends, but they were afraid to tell you they supported him. And you know what? When they went to the voting booth, they voted for him. And that's where all of you people right now, all of you people are now shocked. Because you couldn't believe that he could be elected. Because nobody thought he would have been elected. But guess what? He is elected. And he is our president. And you need to unite behind him now. Because you know what? If you continue to do what you're doing, you are going to divide this country. You are going to bring about martial law. You're going to lose your rights. You're going to lose your freedoms. And then your biggest fear, he will be a dictator then. You better be smart, people. You don't understand what's about ready to happen. Wake up and be smart.
Fantastic. So, Based in LA is a great channel, and we don't plug them enough. We used to, obviously, they're the ones that did this interview. Well done, Based in LA, for being there and capturing that epic, I don't want to call it a rant. I don't know. Monologue.
No, it was a monologue, and as So What said, his bike must have been made of titanium or kryptonite. Yeah, it just I gotta tell you, this guy needs to be in office.
And I love how my favorite line there was that she was talking about education, and she's like, and he said, listen, if this is what education has brought us to, then the education system needs to be revamped.
I really here is the sad part, and it's a double-edged sword, because the Southern slave owners were able to manipulate minds,
right?
And we take you guys through history all the time. We try to show you that the Democratic Party, who wanted to keep slave ownership, and people in the Republican Party who weren't ready to give up their way of life,
right?
Because obviously we're living off of slavery, they still exist.
Yes, they do.
Okay, these kind of people are still there. Remember that the Democratic Party created the KKK.
Yep.
And the reason they created it was to terrorize black Republicans and white Republicans.
Right.
The first freed slaves became Republicans. They rushed into the different state houses of government. They educated themselves in just a matter of a few years.
Right.
And then the number one thing that these KKK racists, they were realizing that, oh no, look, black people are educating themselves.
Right.
If they educate themselves, then they will be equal.
So we have to keep them reliant on the feeding.
And we have to keep them uneducated.
Right.
Right?
Keep them in the cities, give them welfare.
Right.
You know what I mean? And keep them down. So we have a lot more to cover. One thing
I wanted to get to something. My point I was really wanted to make, and I want to make this all the time, it goes through my head all the time, is that conservatives love black conservatives.
So true.
It's like, and I told this to somebody, I don't know if I told you guys, it's like when we were in high school and we would go to Christian concerts and there would be like DC Talk and there'd be like one black rapper,
right,
or Lecrae. Christians don't really have the best rhythm, but they are drawn to black people.
Right.
Christians are.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, black people are cooler. They have more rhythm. They're funnier.
But I also
and I'm not saying in general, but there is an attraction to the culture that black people have.
Yeah.
And conservatives and Christians actually are drawn to.
And it's not some sort of like white apologetics. It's just true.
We have some black friends and we love to be around them. Our particular black friends are jovial and happy, and the way that they communicate, it's just like with So What. So What's German, right?
Right.
We love So What. We love to talk to him because he has this laugh that is infectious.
Yes.
Right? And so it just so happens, and it's not being stereotypical, to say that black people tend to be funny and to make jokes. It's just when black conservatives or libertarians speak out, it's actually they're followed by white people.
Right.
So there's a man I follow, Larry Elder. He's very articulate in conservative matters, way articulate than I could be.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a reason why one of the biggest front runners in the presidential race
was Ben Carson.
Was Ben Carson.
Right.
We were all, there were many people that were anti-Trump that really, really wanted Ben Carson.
So what I'm saying is that the big names in the black political community,
right,
are followed by white people.
So Say Perfect says, if it wasn't for black people, we would never have discovered peanut butter. George Washington Carver. Do you know that he's pretty much said to God, I want you to show me something. Like he wanted God to reveal a secret to him, and he would go into his laboratory and he would seek God, and he wanted to find God in that laboratory. And one of those things that he discovered was not just peanut butter, but all of the different uses. And I don't know how many there are. I want to say there's 1,000 uses for peanuts. I don't know. But yes, it is thanks to George Washington Carver, who also sought God. When you have black people that meet God, it's like a supernova, you know? All right, so...
Well, and I'm trying to articulate this correctly, like on Twitter, okay? When it comes to black people in politics...
Yes?
The ones that have the greatest following are conservatives and libertarians.
Yeah.
The liberal black people, they don't have a following. Maxine Waters is cuckoo.
Yeah, she crazy.
Sheila Jackson Lee... recently got in a debacle because she took somebody's seat and it just went crazy. When you have like Cory Booker, you have
so here's the thing, are there any white, black, whatever liberals that have a big following?
No, we have what we have over here on the conservative libertarian side are a bunch of little small voices,
right?
And together we make the Care Bear stare. Over on the liberal elite side, you have you have a bunch of sheep, and a few leaders telling the sheep what to do.
And the mainstream media and
on
Hollywood.
the conservative libertarian side, you have a bunch of sheep telling the leaders what to do, and the leaders won't do what we have to say, what we want them to do, which is the problem.
Right.
And so you have like Allen B. West. There's just a long list of them, and I'm just saying that there aren't good liberal black leaders because they're all sellouts.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I agree. All right. So what happened with Berkeley? With Milo, he went to speak. Ann Coulter,
yes,
went
absolutely.
to speak, and we saw a massive amount of
Berkeley riots,
soy boy type Antifa, violent people.
Right. We did. We saw the. I'm not going to call it the baddest of free speech, but I'm going to say the free speech of the college era.
Yes.
That Berkeley started out as trying to be something awesome, and it just turned into this.
Yeah, them setting things on fire and trying to move barricades, all because someone wanted Milo to come and speak, and they brought it together and they made it happen. And of course, this is what ensued.
It's more than that, because somehow in these colleges and a lot of the early commies in the 60s moved to Seattle. And so when Trump was elected, they were like, I'm done.
Yeah.
We are just going to take off our masks and show everyone that we are alien commies.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. So the next thing for the top news for resistance chicks.
Nigel Farage?
Nigel Farage. If it were not for Leah deciding that we should cover.
And actually, I heard about Nigel Farage from Louder with Crowder.
It was one of his biggest speeches that he covered slamming the EU.
Yes.
And that particular video, I'm wondering if I can pull it up without it playing, because I want to see how many views it has. This one on our... guys. Let's see, 51,000 views. Now, you have to understand that we did it February 3rd, and sorry about the noise there.
Good morning.
It just kept getting more and more views, and it instantly gained us a massive amount of British viewers.
It was,
and we were floored.
It changed our whole channel, I think.
Very warm
Well, at that
welcome.
point, half of our
How
viewers
things
were
have changed.
Eine Sekunde bitte. Just a second.
Mr. Farage.
Mr. Farage.
Go and fast forward, because we can't play the whole thing.
Well, thank you, Mr. Schultz. Isn't it funny? You know, when I came here 17 years ago, and I said that I wanted to lead a campaign to get Britain to leave the European Union, you all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you? And the reason you're so upset, the reason you're so angry, has been perfectly clear from all the angry exchanges this morning. You, as a political project, are in denial. You're in denial that your currency is failing.
Yep.
You're in denial. Well, just look at the Mediterranean. No. As a policy to impose poverty on Greece and the rest of the Mediterranean, you've done very well. And you're in denial over Mrs. Merkel's call last year for as many people as possible to cross the Mediterranean into the European Union has led to massive divisions between countries and within countries. But the biggest problem you've got, and the main reason the United Kingdom voted the way that it did, is you have, by stealth, by deception, without ever telling the truth to the British or the rest of the peoples of Europe.
I love her face right here.
You have imposed upon them a political union. You've imposed upon them a political union. And when the people in 2005 in the Netherlands and France voted against that political union, when they rejected the Constitution, you simply ignored them and brought the Lisbon Treaty in through the back door. What happened? What happened last Thursday was a remarkable result. It was indeed a seismic result, not just for British politics, for European politics, but perhaps even for global politics too, because what the little people did, what the ordinary people did, what the people who've been oppressed over the last few years and seen their living standards go down, they rejected the multinationals. They rejected the merchant banks. They rejected big politics. And they said, actually, we want our country back. We want our fishing waters back. We want our borders back. We want to be an independent, self-governing, normal nation. And that is what we have done, and that is what must happen.
The lady
And
behind
in
him
doing
is
so,
from the 5-star in Italy.
and in doing so, we now offer a beacon of hope to Democrats across the rest of the European continent. I'll make one prediction this morning. The United Kingdom will not be the last member state to leave the European Union.
Yes.
So the question is, what do we do next? Now, it is up to the British government to invoke Article 50. And I have to say that I don't think we should spend too long in doing it. I totally agree, Mr. Juncker, that the British people have voted. We need to make sure that it happens. But what I would like to see is a grown-up and sensible attitude to how we negotiate a different relationship. Now I know that virtually none of you have ever done a proper job in your lives, or worked in business, or worked in trade, or indeed ever created a job. But listen, just listen.
That guy's smiling.
Herr Farage, Augenblick.
Mr. Price, just a second.
Liebe Kolleginnen und Kollegen, bei allem Verständnis für Ihre Aufregung, Sie benehmen sich gerade wie UKIP sich normalerweise in diesem Haus benimmt. Also,
You're acting like UKIP normally acts.
Don't imitate them.
Don't imitate them. Do not do it.
The fact that you're claiming nobody has done a decent job in their life, you can't really say that. I'm sorry.
No, you're quite right, Mr. Schultz. UKIP used to protest against the establishment, and now the establishment protests against UKIP. So something has happened here. Let us listen to some simple, pragmatic economics. We, between us, between your countries and my country, we do an enormous amount of business in goods and services. That trade is mutually beneficial to both of us. That trade matters. If you were to decide to cut off your noses, to spite your faces, and to reject any idea of a sensible trade deal, the consequences would be far worse for you than it would be for us. And even no deal is better for the United Kingdom than the current rotten deal that we've got. But if we were to move to a position where tariffs were reintroduced on products like motor cars, then hundreds of thousands of German workers would risk losing their jobs. So why don't we just be pragmatic, sensible, grown up, realistic, and let's cut between us a sensible tariff-free deal, and thereafter recognize that the United Kingdom will be your friend, that we will trade with you, we will cooperate with you, we will be your best friends in the world. But do it sensibly, and allow us to go off and pursue our global ambitions and future. Thank you.
Okay, so, speaking of a big hurrah, Sicilian Gal tells me that she went and subscribed from another computer and that it told her she hit 10,000. Mine hasn't updated, but if it actually said to you 10,000, then we are going to officially make Christine our 10,000th subscriber, even if she subscribed from another computer. You can do that, guys. You can subscribe from multiple accounts. So we're going to officially say that we have hit 10,000, even though it probably will fluctuate here and there because that's just what it does. YouTube is weird, but we're going to say we hit 10,000. Sicilian Gal is the one that made it happen. I think it's very fitting that it happened while we were watching Nigel Farage, because literally, and I know we're not going to get through this whole year because there's a lot to cover and we're already at almost an hour and a half here, but we'll try. In my humble opinion, this coverage of Nigel Farage shifted the entire Resistance Chicks channel for the rest of the year, because it brought in, raise your hand if you're here and you're from the UK, if this video or one of our other Nigel Farage videos brought you to us, because I want to say almost every single one of our British subscribers came from our Nigel Farage videos. I know Horatio did. I'm pretty sure that Worth a Look did. And we just kind of shifted after that. And it brought in this European element that we absolutely loved. One of the things that we can go ahead and talk about, you can't just keep playing Nigel videos.
I want to play, it's a short one. It's short.
Because we could play Nigel videos all day. It's 3 minutes long.
Well, good morning, Mr. Van Rompuy. You've been in office for 1 year, and in that time, the whole edifice is beginning to crumble. There's chaos. The money's running out. I should thank you. You should perhaps be the pin-up boy of the Eurosceptic movement. But just look around this chamber this morning. Just look at these faces. Look at the fear. Look at the anger. Poor old Barroso here looks like he's seen a ghost. You know, they're beginning to understand that the game is up. And yet, in their desperation to preserve their dream, they want to remove any remaining traces of democracy from the system. And it's pretty clear that none of you have learned anything. You know, when you yourself, Mr. Van Rompuy, say that the euro has brought us stability, I suppose I could applaud you for having a sense of humour, but isn't this really just the bunker mentality? You know, your fanaticism is out in the open. You talked about the fact that it was a lie to believe that the nation state could exist in a 21st century globalised world. Well, that may be true in the case of Belgium, who haven't had a government for 6 months, but for the rest of us, right across every member state in this union, and perhaps this is why we see the fear in the faces, increasingly people are saying, we don't want that flag, we don't want the anthem, we don't want this political class, we want the whole thing consigned to the dustbin of history. And we had the Greek tragedy earlier on this year, and now we have the situation in Ireland. Now I know that the stupidity and greed of Irish politicians has a lot to do with this. They should never, ever have joined the euro. They suffered with low interest rates, a false boom, and a massive bust. But look at your response to them. What they're being told, as their government's collapsing, is that it would be inappropriate for them to have a general election. In fact, Commissioner Wren here said they had to agree their budget first before they'd be allowed to have a general election. Just who the hell do you think you people are? You are very, very dangerous people indeed. Your obsession with creating this Euro state means that you're happy to destroy democracy. You appear to be happy for millions and millions of people to be unemployed and to be poor. Untold millions must suffer so that your Euro dream can continue. Well, it won't work, because it's Portugal next. With their debt levels of 325% of GDP, they're the next ones on the list. And after that, I suspect it'll be Spain. And the bailout for Spain would be 7 times the size of Ireland. And at that moment, all of the bailout money has gone. There won't be any more. But it's even more serious than economics. Because if you rob people of their identity, if you rob them of their democracy, then all they are left with is nationalism and violence. I can only hope and pray that the Euro project is destroyed by the markets before that really happens.
Here, 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 here.
I was trying to find, because I think it was Jim West who had said, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but you were having health issues, and just listening to Nigel Farage brought your blood pressure down.
That's right.
Because it does do that, doesn't it? It brings your blood pressure, I don't know, it kind of makes me excited. Brings my blood pressure up, but in a good way. So
Baker Mom says she refreshed her screen. It says 10,
all right, so everybody is telling me that it is 10,001 subscribers. I am so excited that we did that live. That's so exciting. We actually hit 10,000 10,001. It does say it. So there must have been a lot of you guys on here that went ahead and made that happen.
That's fun.
You guys are absolutely
fantastic.
fantastic.
So we should
wait.
Wait.
One of the other big things that, speaking of Nigel, was your birthday came around.
Oh my gosh, we've been on Nigel's show twice.
And
Isn't that so cool?
I made a video that I uploaded at night and took down for our European viewers and to let everybody know that I was going to do a P.O. box. And I also said to the viewers, I said, I would like to get on Nigel's show. Yeah, we've got it.
Oh, we got it? Okay.
Yeah. She's bringing it out, the 10,001. And so I tried to contact Nigel, and I couldn't get a hold of him. I think Britt Baza actually did send him an email and got a reply after we were on the show, but it was like Nigel was only or is only on Monday through Thursday, and your birthday was like on a Saturday or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was going to be my last day to try to get this call in. And so I did, and Leah was shocked. She had no idea. I just made it through. I don't know how I made it through, but I made it through. And so when Britt had sent the email, Nigel messaged back and said, yes, I remember, they were on my show, they were lovely, they can call in anytime. So then I think he was talking about Tony Blair and George Bush. It was like 9/11 coverage.
She calls in again.
And we called in again, and Nigel remembered us. He knows who we are. So,
oh, hello, Michelle from Cincinnati.
I called in, and I've called in again, and the show was ending, and they couldn't get me through. But they would say, "Hello, Michelle from Cincinnati," and they're like, "I'm sorry, the show is ending, or I would put you through. Call again." You know, because they know who is calling in. I guess it must like recognize, yes, this was a caller. Nigel liked this caller. I would imagine that would be a good system to set into place when you have callers calling in.
That was fun. We've been on InfoWars.
So there it is. It says 10,001 subscribers.
So this year we were on InfoWars twice.
Yes, we went to
Red Pill Expo, and we got to meet Millie, and because we met her and interviewed her, then she kindly decided to interview us. She just came out with a new video.
Yes.
On the last time we were on Resistance Chicks, she was shocked to find out that the organic in the store may not be chemical free and the healthy food that you think it is. And so she was shocked. So she did a bunch of research, created an amazing video on it.
Yes.
And
we watched it last night. I've been meaning to send a text message to her to tell her how awesome it is. However, since we are a family-friendly show and it's my show, and I doubt Millie's going to see this, and so I think it's okay to say this. I love Millie. She is drop-dead gorgeous. She knows her stuff like nobody's business. However, the InfoWars gear for females can tend to be a little bit... And so I think that perhaps that InfoWars could do a little bit of revamping and maybe more coverage. They cover the news. They could do a little bit more coverage. That's all I'm going to say. Love the people. Love them all.
Well, we were sending family-friendly. Yes, there. That's
family-friendly. I'm just saying family-friendly. Just keeping it family-friendly.
But everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
I'm saying everybody does that nowadays in the media.
I know. We're totally not going to. I got a big giant sweater on. All right, so what else happened this year besides us, besides Resistance Chicks news? That was
there was a
monumental.
big flood in Houston.
And it wasn't just because then it happened. We had another hurricane that hit Florida as well. So this was kind of a big year for natural disasters. But what happened in Houston, I think what was so epic about it, in my humble opinion, was at this point Charlottesville had just happened. Mm-hmm. And that was another huge monumental thing that happened. We still don't know false flag. I definitely believe there was that it was planned. I don't. Anyway, we could talk about Charlottesville, but I don't know. I don't really want to get into that conspiracy theory of Charlottesville, but I do think that there was a lot of false stuff that happened there. But the racial tensions.
The good news with Houston was that people came together.
Exactly.
There was no racial tensions. People just came to help one another.
And that's what I felt was, not that this was the Lord. I'm not saying that, obviously, I don't think that God... I know they call it an act of God, but I don't think God intended for people to suffer and lose their homes and whatnot. But I think that in the midst of this, God used it to show that, you know what? There are people that just want to help people. Yeah. There is no actual division in our country.
What's hilarious is that Houston is mostly liberal, actually, Democrat. Only one of the only Texas counties that do vote blue. But the Cajun redneck white boy super truck Navy came to help.
Right.
And that's the message that the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. That you have a few bad people in this country.
Yeah.
That the majority of people want to do what's right.
Yeah.
Whether they are Democrat or Republican. And I will tell you that there are forces that be the globalists that are Democrats and Republicans that want to divide the country.
Yep.
And they want to divide it down. What they've literally done is they have put in all the articles. They know that they need a bunch of people on their side, and they're bringing people who they think are easily manipulated: black people, women, Muslims, Hispanics, and then they say, "You vote our way. We're your party."
Yeah.
And anybody who steps outside of that is demonized. Yep. Called an Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
Called anti-woman. The majority of married women in stable relationships in solid homes, in my opinion, who can think straight, voted for Donald Trump.
Agreed.
Okay, but the minorities are told, and here's the thing: when you are in a situation where you don't have a lot of money or you don't have a lot of food, you're scared. And you are easily manipulated.
Correct.
I know, because I have been in the situation where we have been hungry or without clothes or things like that. You're easily manipulated, and it takes the power of God to step out of that and to stand on your own 2 feet and allow God to provide for you rather than the government.
Right. So Richard says Puerto Rico was hit very hard by a hurricane.
Yes, absolutely.
I know that Otto, who is in the chat with us, you're down south, from what I understand, and this did affect you. Let's see. Otto says the Super Truck Navy. We Are Borg says Cajun Navy rocks.
I think Puerto Rico is still without power.
Yeah.
A lot of places in Puerto Rico are still without power.
I agree. I
want to go to this one next.
Hang on, though, because...
No, we're still here.
Well, because the natural disasters that happened this year, we had the California fires. We had a lot of earthquakes this year that happened, and it has a lot of people believing that we're kind of in the end times.
In Yellowstone, they had a ton of earthquakes going on there.
Right.
And now we're in an Arctic blast. It's freezing out. They're saying that Sunday morning, it could be like one of the coldest mornings in history in like certain areas.
Right.
And that this particular cold swath is in like the 5% of cold temperatures. Like 95% is not like this. 5% is like this. 5% of the time it's like this. Our average temperatures in where we're at are in the mid to upper 30s in December and January.
Right.
We get snow, and when we get snow, we get like 6 to 8 inches, and then it's sad because a week later it's all gone.
I know.
Because kids
sled ride and then
like
the hill is kind of worn down,
and then it's gone.
Yeah.
But if it had snowed, it would still be on the ground right now, and that's how I know that we're not in a normal pattern.
I think what I'm going to do when we sign off is I'm going to walk the webcam out so you can see the snow that we've had, because it's really pretty. Otto says yes, it was bad here. Still lots of work left.
I can't imagine.
So some people are telling me that they actually have power. Redneck says they have power. Gonzalez says that Disney was without power at the time. That's a big deal. Disney goes without power. Let's see. Redneck says my mom's family has power. I'm guessing down in Puerto Rico. So, let's see. Squirrel says it was negative 37 in Ontario the other day. Yeah, I think yesterday we were going live and he said it was like negative 40. It's nuts there. It's absolutely crazy. All right, so now you may move on.
Okay. So the next big story, this one is so sad to me. There was this guy, Devin Patrick Kelly, opened fire on the church in rural Texas. That was awful. Killing at least 26 people. And Michelle and I remembered that we had watched, and don't watch, it's a stupid movie. What was it called?
The Kingsman.
The Kingsman, in which the end they show all these horrible, awful, negative people being shot up in a church. And then it happened almost exactly the way it happened in this movie. So I'm a big, and this to me is a conspiracy theory being lived out.
Yeah.
This was just horrible.
It was in Sutherland Springs, Texas. And this was one of the more recent stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Sutherland Springs. And we had a wonderful man who saved the day. He got a good guy with a gun.
Yep.
Got his gun and he shot him. Well, he shot him twice. and then he stopped a guy with a truck. He didn't. The good guy with the gun didn't have shoes on. Stopped this other guy with the truck who watched the shootout happen.
Right.
And they chased him down.
Yep.
And they held him at gunpoint. At that point, he had like died of his wounds.
Right. So I think a lot of people are familiar with the story, but as far as updates, because I know again we got caught in this swath of everything is a conspiracy theory,
Right.
and our slogan is it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Was it something like MK Ultra? You know, when you see these kinds of horrific things that happen, what made this young man snap? Was it just because he did have a mother-in-law that went to this church? We don't know. I don't think that that's something that's ever going to come out. I think sometimes you just have to let the bone go.
Here's the thing. Yeah, this is...
And the question of whether it really did happen, to me, that's just completely debunked. It totally, absolutely happened.
They came together, the town came together, and they prayed. But what happens with this mainstream media is we hear about Russian collusion, we hear about, but we don't hear the updates. Why aren't there reporters going down there?
It used to be that they would finish the story.
I'm like, we talk about the school shooting with Dylan, what's his face, all the time, and Alex Jones is said to be, you know, the big conspiracy theorist because it just didn't play right, and it doesn't play right. It's a big conspiracy in my book too, but this was not. This wasn't a...
Well, Louder with Crowder had the hero, and I don't know why it escapes my name, on his show.
Oh my gosh, it was so awesome.
And it was an absolutely incredible interview. That guy was really there, you guys. This one really happened.
Right.
So I want you guys to recognize that. Now, the motives behind how it happened, then you can play with that. But I think the reason why we don't see follow-up stories from the mainstream media in this, when something actually did happen, is because they want the conspiracy theorists out there to start looking stupid. They want them to be distracted by this stuff while they continue to feed the masses their false narratives.
So, the latest on the Las Vegas shooting, which is probably... There were so many huge stories this year. This is obviously one of the top stories. I don't know, top 5, top 3 stories of the year. We still don't know what's going on. I'm hearing they might not know for a year to tell us. They still don't have a motive. We still don't have video. There is a huge,
there should be
massive cover up here.
We're talking about a hotel that knows what every single person is doing. Like, they know when you pee in, man.
FBI official says motive may take until next October to release.
While they scrap and scrub and scrape and catch fire to things. You know, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Do you want to finally know why Stephen Paddock gunned down 58 people in Las Vegas in early October? Be prepared to wait a while, possibly until next October. The chief of FBI's Las Vegas office revealed...
While they wait for everybody to forget.
He said this on December 22nd, so right before, like a week ago. He goes, I know that's a long time for some people, but speaking for the FBI, that's light speed, right? Right? All right?
If the FBI is that slow, then they really do need to be disbanded because they're not doing anything. It's like that movie Zootopia with the sloth.
So really,
you know, like, this is the FBI.
What they're telling me as a conspiracy theorist,
another job for Big Joe.
It's going to take another year to craft their lies, how they're going to be able to. It's going to take a year. First of all, they don't want people thinking about it.
Correct.
Second, they don't want people talking about it. So they're hoping that by letting go for a year, they're going to get people not to think about it too much, and then they'll hit us with this giant compilation of so much information it will overload us.
Yep.
And we won't know the truth. I can guarantee you that that's exactly what is going to happen. We have our theories. One of the major theories is that this guy was not in shape. He was not a fantastic gunman. That it would have taken somebody with a lot more skill to do what he did, to get the guns up there. Many people had to turn the other way. He couldn't have gotten the guns up there.
Right.
And it would make sense that he was running guns, that he was former CIA. I know that he actually, was it Lockheed Martin? You guys,
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yep.
that he worked for.
Yep.
This is kind of weird that, it's all a little bit, we still don't know about the girlfriend and why hasn't she done some interviews? I mean, nothing's come out. This is the biggest unsolved mystery and everybody wants to know what's going on and we have to keep putting pressure and keep talking about it. And
Otto says ammo is heavy, guns are heavy. Will says he had 3 doubles, possibly. Yeah, well, brothers and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot here, and I really
and his brother, the interviews that he did, that his brother did,
they were hard to watch.
He is insane.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He's hiding something. The way he talked about his brother spending so much money, the way that he said his brother had so much money, and there is no way on this planet that anybody gets rich by just playing the slots.
No.
Nobody gets rich that way. And like the night before he goes in shooting, he's just like randomly like slots. And he puts the broom and his girlfriend's name and the car ticket and his girlfriend's name. And why is this all happening? And why did he buy her a house? And why did all this happen? I mean, like, this is insanity. And they say he thought he was going to get out, but show us how he was going to get out. The guy was overweight. What was he going to do? Rappel like Tom Cruise off the building? How did he expect after this shooting to get out of the building? Why haven't you given us that kind of information?
Well, and Will's done some videos on his Cypher News, I think, talking about the different tattoos, like the tattoo that he had on his neck and stuff. Was it even Stephen Paddock? I don't know. I mean, listen, at this point, it is so ridiculous. It's really hard to pin anything down. I know that there have been a lot of truth channels that actually went on the ground to see what they could see.
Steve Bisnack, is that his name?
Yeah, I think that's his name. And there's really not a lot to be found. There are real bullet holes in the pylons. And so did people really get shot? Did people really die? Well, they were firing real bullets enough to go into concrete. So yeah, if there were crisis actors, okay, there could have been crisis actors, but were there real gunshots that really happened? Yeah. So, all right. So what else do we have? Bin Sack. Thank you.
Bin Sack. I always say Bisnack. Bin Sack.
It's none of your bin neck. Okay. So, we could talk about the Las Vegas shooting forever. I don't know.
And also the big story of this year. There's so many huge stories. Every single day there's a huge story. Another one are the no-go zones in Europe.
Yep.
And the acid attacks and the knife attacks and the small little attacks that aren't necessarily terror attacks.
Exactly. It's not a truck driving into a crowd of people.
But people are being
attacked.
And I follow Peter Sweden on Twitter, and he's always tweeting out what's going on in Sweden. And the people who are raping and harming these other people, mostly females, they're not given large sentences. The same thing in Germany. You may get one person who gets a good sentence, but even in Britain, you're really gonna leave that open?
Well,
it's frozen.
The dog, I couldn't put it on the line because I don't have any shoes on. I couldn't go out and get it. It's in the snow. I had to leave it open for the dog. Come back.
It's like really cold. The door's open. That's okay. You guys warm our hearts. Patriot Gallery.
So what did this? He made a new video.
Oh, fun!
Plug.
So what? Ghost Rider plus Cool Swedes. Oh, cool. Patriot Gallery showed us that. So what? We met So What this year, which is very exciting. German correspondent.
Jorg.
What?
His name is Jorg.
Oh, can we use your first name? Is it okay? Jorg? Is it Jorg? Jorg. We use just the first name, Jorg. But so what? So cool. We have Stay Perfect and So What. The handles are they get me. But if you're not subscribed, follow him on Facebook and follow him on YouTube.
It's So What too on YouTube because he's had a lot of different accounts that they just keep shutting the poor guy down.
You're like your own one-man German.
But he's so funny. I was actually watching the video that he did with us with the snow, and we're like freezing, and he's like, "No, it's all because of global warming." It's so great. It was really, really enjoyable.
He's really fun. And then this is a kind of a new story, but it's segueing into old stories. Berlin is setting up a safe zone for New Year's Eve.
For women.
So for Sunday, for women who feel threatened, they can just like run to the safe zone. Like if you've been raped or touched or
After
robbed.
you've been raped, or
Yeah.
the safe zone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
New Year's party at the Brandenburg Gate will feature a safe zone for women to protect them from rape and sexual assault.
I gotta tell you,
by gangs of migrant men.
If you're a woman and you attend one of these things, then you just stupid.
Women who feel harassed will be able to seek help from a special safety zone located in Eberstrasse, which will be staffed by the German Red Cross. So there you go. While organizers will obviously never acknowledge it, the safe zone is blatantly designed to protect women from sexual assaults by Muslim migrant men. They're not there to be. They're there to be protected by other
the German men they're attacking and raping women in droves? I mean, does that happen? So what?
Even the BBC far left admits the safe zone is a response to events 2 years ago in Cologne, which have since been repeated in other cities when hundreds of women reported being attacked by gangs of men with migrant backgrounds.
So what says that he's making a video about that right now. So since he is German, you guys can watch that video.
Is a little bit more than the rest of us. Shocking footage that later emerged from the night shows women screaming as they were assaulted. 9.
I don't even know what she's saying.
So what? You may translate.
He says, no, it is only to fend off some beard monkeys. That's what the safe zone is for. Britt says that the German girls should wear a bacon dress like the pop star. Was that Lady Gaga that did that?
I have no idea what this says, but so what, Mike?
Well, 9 means no.
$369. 22
you don't even know what it says. Why are you even trying?
That looks like a couple sexual assaults there. I'm trying to get my head out.
It's about what happened in Cologne 2 years ago, he says.
Right. But I don't know what the words.
Bacon perfume, Jim says. That's a good idea.
But you can get the idea. There are lots of people being arrested here. 9 nix bitte.
Leah.
Hey.
This doesn't exactly look like a celebration to me.
No.
See, all these rapists are not German, so what says? Oh, sorry. It's all in German, Kelly. I don't know. I mean, I can just...
Ich fand das ein bisschen zu ad hoc. Ich weiß nicht, warum sowas gemacht wird. Der Olli hat da noch eine Maßnahme.
Do not touch me, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sexual harassment. Wow, we have a lot of dogs walking around here right now. The natives are getting restless. The police were outnumbered by these immigrants. So I think that gives you guys a good idea of the crazy madness. So now they have a safe zone for New Year's. I really am predicting the camera going down at this point.
Dogs, we like dogs. Dogs.
Is it unethical to fire pigs from cannons? Christian soldier wants to know. I think I would kill him first. Just because we don't want to be inhumane to the animal. And then we could fire them out of cannons.
So, with the migrants, what you have right now, with the Pond's commercial there, funny stuff. You have in Libya slaves, like real slavery happening right now. People being sold. And it's tragic. It's tragic. And
Kelly was asking for the mic because she speaks German. Sorry. I don't know. I wasn't even thinking. Okay, carry on.
We could use...
That's the day pigs fly. Gotta love Say Perfect. Just get all of these there with the pun, with the pigs flying. And we're Cincinnati, it's Porkopolis. Pigs do fly here in Cincinnati.
They do.
It's one of our biggest things. You go around the city, you see pigs with wings.
Wings everywhere.
Statues. It's a big deal here.
So the Libyan Coast Guard has been capturing vessels smuggling people into Europe. It's estimated between 400,000 and 1 million migrants may now be trapped in Libya, where the vulnerable population is preyed upon by smugglers and other criminal elements who rob, rape, and murder them.
Wow.
And so, just let you know, this ain't white people. All right. So this is other black people, this is Muslims. Slavery is not color-based.
Right.
Okay. I say that because C.J. Pearson, I love this lovely young man, a lovely young black man. He's like 14 or 15 years old, and he's on Twitter and he's on
older
Facebook.
Than that now.
He's in high school, maybe 16. I don't know. He's still taking tests in high school. But he tweeted out this BuzzFeed article. I'm just going to show you because I'm going to end with this because it is
so
kind
what
of funny.
Says, look at all the children and women on these dinghies. That was not a good German. I'm trying.
That was
he
funny.
does it better. I hear it in my head. Does that count?
Yeah.
Raus.
Yeah.
Schnell.
So he tweeted out this BuzzFeed article, which actually was kind of funny. But he says, let's end racism in 2018 on both sides and 37 things white people ruined in 2017. Now, there is a stream of thought amongst some black people.
Yes.
That white people ruined everything. There would be no slavery without white people.
Because
white
black
people have controlled...
never owned other black people because that was not a thing.
White people, because of colonialism. The problem with that is you literally take thousands and thousands of years of human history down to a couple hundred years.
Right.
And you miss the whole point. I mean, there were people commenting saying...
Let's go back to Moses.
Exactly.
The Egyptians owned the Israelites.
Right. Exactly. Slavery has existed since the dawn of time. People have always used and abused other people. But on a lighter note, I have to say for BuzzFeed, while the title of this I thought was completely racist, and if you were to title 37 things Hispanics have ruined or 37
people
things
would just be losing
black people have
their
ruined.
Minds.
However, this is tongue in cheek. And I looked through the list, and it is hilarious. So I'm going to play a couple pieces of this for you, and I would have to agree.
Okay, so what I did was just make a roux, and then to give it an extra zing of flavor, I like to put in some Dijon mustard. Flavorful! I'm going to use some Gruyere, and then just some classic cheddar. You know, I love cheddar cheese. Got a tuppy in the building. Yeah.
See, I could just eat that right there. Look at that. That's a simple roast, just a simple Dyson roast.
It's 400 degrees, a dice, and a little squash, winter squash, and Brussels sprouts. A little garlic and a little olive oil, salt and pepper. 400 degrees, 40 minutes, done.
Look at how beautiful that is.
Pretty.
But we are not done. I think every great mac and cheese needs a crunchy top. Dressing.
Dressing, right. You just get it nice and crunchy, heat it in the oven, add a little bit on top.
I present to America right here, the kitchen's ultimate Thanksgiving mac and cheese.
That is true. And I gotta tell you something. At that point, it's just called a casserole. Okay? It's just, and it can be a good casserole.
Yeah.
But mac and cheese ain't like that. You don't throw those things in. When you want mac and cheese, all you want to taste is the cream and the cheese. That's all that you want. So I can see that those white people ruined it. I get it.
So people are a little bit upset that these white people ruined makeup by taking their pasty cells and turning themselves into darker shades with completely context.
Why?
See?
But why? But they don't look like black people. They look like white people with blackface. Which I thought that's racist.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Of course, you know, they talk about the Oscars and the Grammys and They have a woman rapping here, which, you know what? For the fun of it, if you're still here, we are going to watch some of this.
Hang on, though. Why can't white people rap?
Young rich niggas. You know, so we ain't really never had no old
It's
words.
black people music. It all has bad words.
We got a whole lot of new money, though.
Unless it's Christian.
Raindrop, drop top, Santa came in clutch with my Gucci socks. I'm in the kitchen and it's hot, hot, hot. Cooking up chili in the crock pot.
No. She didn't. No. See, that's just embarrassing. That's not helpful to white people. It's just not helpful.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to play this one, but a bunch of girls, white girls tried to do, it was nasty. It was white people rapping was a theme here in this, and it was pretty funny.
Sometimes white people can rap.
Well, these ones didn't. And then I guess there's a special dance. This particular girl there's a new dance, and she actually on tape dislocated her knee. I'm not kidding you. But it's just a bunch of white people doing crazy things. Actually, theirs wasn't too bad. Freestyling in the car. I'm not going to give these people any time, but it was funny. It was funny. And so to me, it's okay. Like this one is a fail. Hashtag black girl magic with a white girl with a black girl magic shirt on. That's like the Dove commercial. You know what? There are fails of 2017. Dove commercial. Watch this one. Dove commercial with racist controversy. It just comes right up. And this one was
Sydney is upset
really,
about it.
really bad. All right, so let me see. I'm gonna watch the ad.
The Dove commercials are always weird to me anyway, because they're always trying to go like they're pushing it too hard.
Sorry, here.
Go above and beyond the. Whoa.
I know it's the ad's gonna begin here in a second. It's totally.
Redneck says I can wrap myself in blankets when I sleep.
You can whap. That's awesome. I want to find the ad itself, not the model. No. See, this is what happens. This is what you get when you get politically correct.
Say Perfect says they forgot to drain the water from their mac and cheese. Did they? I didn't notice that, but yeah, you got to drain the water, man. You have to do that. Jim West says negative 2,000 subscribers by YouTube for the N-word. So that doesn't happen. Sorry about that.
We'll just use the RT thing here.
Why are all the doggies here?
The ad went viral on social media.
They have the black girl
after being shared by a popular makeup artist. Dove has since apologized, but many consumers say they plan to boycott the brand. RT's Brigida Santos joins me now live from Los Angeles with the story. Brigida, Dove has advertised itself over the years as the real beauty brand. So what went wrong here? What did the ad show?
Ashley, this was only a 3-second ad, but in 3 seconds they managed to stir up quite the controversy. Now, in this ad, there were 3 women depicted. First, a black woman, a white woman, and then an Asian woman. Now, the way that it was done, however, made it appear as if the black woman had washed herself with Dove soap and then turned into a white woman. So you can imagine how this caused such outrage. Now, it was first called out by a beauty artist, makeup artist, Naomi Leanne Blake. Now, she took screenshots of this and shared them on her own Facebook page. From there, it went viral, getting shared thousands of times across Twitter and Facebook. And basically, she says here the main point of her calling this out is that it's sending a subliminal message that people who are white might be better than those who are black. And whether or not that was the intention here, I'm sure that it wasn't. It's still, it's hard to believe that it was overlooked the way that it was. Now, Dove has responded on Saturday. In fact, they posted an apology, as did their parent company, Unilever, that states, quote, "An image we recently posted on Facebook missed the mark in representing women of color thoughtfully. We deeply regret the offense it caused. However, as you said, the damage is done. A lot of consumers took to social media using the hashtag #DoneWithDove, basically saying that they are going to now boycott this brand. And of course, this ad is reminiscent of racist soap ads of the past in the early 19th century. They are the real beauty brand designed to celebrate women of all colors, shapes, and sizes.
Okay, so
that was it was
all right.
It was funny.
So I want to still go over while we have some time because we're at the 2-hour mark, and we're never going to get through this entire year. We're going to try, but a couple of things that stand out to me as I'm scrolling through our videos, and we don't have time to talk about them too much. But WikiLeaks, they revealed Vault 7 this year, and oh my gosh, what's his name? The other guy that does the now he's a big deal.
Project Veritas.
Project Veritas released a lot of undercover stuff, exposing CNN for the fake news that they are, the Washington Post, the New York Times. These were really epic moments this year that have pretty much demasked the mainstream media and demasked the FBI and the CIA and the deep state.
Yeah.
And I think that that's some of the biggest news of this year. Yeah. That there's now transparency. We see the devil with the pitchfork in the horns instead of as an angel of light, which is a really big deal this year, I think.
So as we go into 2018, the biggest stories hopefully are going to be that the FBI is purged.
Yeah.
More and more is coming out about the dossier. There's a representative who said that they've got until the 3rd to give the Congressional Oversight Committee certain papers. There's so much stonewalling going on. If you don't follow Judicial Watch with Tom Fitton, he puts out a bunch of information trying to get FOIA requests on the DOJ.
Right.
Just today, Huma Abedin's cousin was convicted of fraud. Go figure on that one.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
No, but her whole family probably they're really upstanding citizens.
Yeah, totally upstanding citizens. You know, Marine Le Pen almost won the French election, in my opinion.
Thank you. That's the next one that I wanted to cover. Geert Wilders and Marine Le Pen. Those are they're milestones for the shift of the entire world. There were so many people in the Netherlands and in France that wanted change.
Yeah.
Real, significant anti-EU policies, anti-migration policies, and they tried really hard. And so I do not think that this is the end for those countries. I think that it is a movement that is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm super duper excited about that.
So speaking of going overseas, the Resistance Chicks were on Polish television.
That was a big deal for Resistance Chicks.
How cool was that?
We gained a massive amount of Polish viewers. Now, I didn't get a chance to get back with a young man named Ivan today, but I do want to let you guys know that a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't, well,
right before Christmas.
It was for Thanksgiving. We covered
for Thanksgiving,
a Polish Christian TV station, and we have gotten in contact with them, and we are hopefully going to do a New Year's Eve interview and special with that particular news Christian news channel. So stay tuned for an update on that. But we have become very unified with our Christian brothers and sisters
to learn
in
Polish.
Poland. And not just Poland, but Hungary and other countries in that vicinity that are standing up against the EU. Yeah. Patriot Gallery would like to join.
I was just thinking about the whole evening. You got 2 hours here to talk about the news. But the best thing is when you said something that's good. I think we all want to hear good news. We want to hear about the Redneck Army that saved people in Harvey. And we want to hear about the good news about all the investigators who went after Las Vegas and said that these people are lying. I mean, there's a lot of good news. I think we need to start demanding that we hear about heroes and we hear about justice and we hear good news. I mean, there's just so much good news. We'll talk about Poland, talk about standing up for themselves and standing up against immigration and Christianity and even the Hungary prime ministers, like we're a Christian country, Christian nation. Absolutely. We need to talk about all this good stuff. As God is red-pilling everybody, everywhere. And you can really see the difference. The Bible talks about in Malachi. You can see the difference between good and bad.
Right.
And when you go to a station, you hear this good news. That's what people want to hear.
Yes. Also, David Rockefeller died this year. That's a monumental thing that happened. Mm-hmm. Yay. And we're not supposed to rejoice politically correctly, I should say. But biblically, go read Psalm 35. I rejoice when my enemy is taken out of this world. So you were going to bring up us on the Polish national news?
I was, and then I scrolled through it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I'm trying to really go fast through this. There are so many things that we are missing here. I know that there was the Paris airport terrorist attack. We didn't talk about that. Sweden itself has been a really big topic for us this year. So it's not like a big news thing, like I can pinpoint one thing that happened, but Sweden has completely changed. They've got the feminazis ruling the country. They're letting all of these immigrants in. They're paying for them. And it's become the rape capital of the world. Now, what is newsworthy this year is when Trump called it out. And then he was proven right in the end, which I thought was a really big deal. What else you got?
I think that we're going on 2 hours, and we should probably sum it up with anything else do you think is exciting?
That's why I'm going through these, to remind myself, because I'm not you. And I don't have that kind of Horatio. Monumental. We met Horatio this year. He was one of our viewers that turned into our UK correspondent. We need to have him back on again. We've done several interviews, and he's done videos for us. Because of Nigel, we needed a crash course in British politics, and he took us through that.
Right.
And he still is kind of one of our go-to people to explain British politics to us. We also have Britt Baza that sends us a lot of links as well, worth a look, and many, many more of you Brits that we absolutely
we have a lot
love.
to look forward to in 2018. There are more elections to be had, and people, their mindset is changing, and what we really see is a divide between like the zombies who are totally crazy, like seriously, like their brains are gone, and people who are who can think clearly.
Yes.
Unfortunately, those who believe the Russian collusion, when you have a lie stuck in your head like that, it makes you go insane. So the Hillary voters, I'm not saying that you can't convince them. Please continue to talk to your Hillary voting friends and relatives, and continue to just red pill them one pill at a time, because what will happen is it goes through your entire body when you realize one thing, like the Federal Reserve.
And that's what we've discovered with a lot of, there are former liberal activists, who they get red pilled on one thing, let's say it's Syria, and then you start to uncover the corruption in every other area, and you realize that the communist agenda, I think way earlier in the chat tonight somebody had said, well, we haven't tried real communism yet, meaning that's what they say. But you realize that, you know what, the path that we're headed down is going to lead to a communistic like dictatorship that we don't want. Exactly. And so they start to realize what Mom would say, good news.
Ron Paul believes that this year, or he thinks that this year we're going to see an unraveling of the system in a way like the Soviet Union fell. I read an article today on Zero Hedge. And that would actually be a good thing, because the power needs to go back into the people. Yep. Our country has gone very socialist. Yep. In that people don't rely on God as much, and they're forced to rely on the government. And we're seeing a lot of people waking up. And if there's any good news across the world, what has happened is it's okay to be a Christian again.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we always win the fight, but we're always still fighting, like with Roy Moore. I think Doug Jones, well, the Secretary of State of that state, did crown Doug Jones the winner, even though Roy Moore never relinquished the crown.
Conceded.
But we may lose a few battles here and there to the elites and the liberals, and the way that the entire nation just went in on Alabama shows you the shark and the devouring, the incessant craziness that they have. And so we might win, we might lose something like that. I guess there's
you can win and lose some battles as long as you
win the war. Have you ever watched, The
Patriot?
The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah, that.
Okay. So we're finally on the winning side, which is so exciting. All you have to use is logic. It's so easy now. Like, okay, we've gotten to the place where
something black on your face.
Okay.
It's a speck. I got it.
Okay, you got it. Thank you.
I got the speck out of my neighbor's eye.
Thank you. Get the log out of your own. So we're winning, and it's very exciting that we can be Christians again. We can say Merry Christmas again. And there's a lot of crazy things that are going to happen. Don't take it to heart. Don't allow it to mess with your head. Every day, get up and seek the Lord. Plant your garden. Plant your garden now. And we look forward to many more awesome videos in 2018.
Yeah, we do. And it's kind of funny because this isn't going to be the exact... We're going to do a New Year's Eve show on Sunday, but because it is our European show, we'll probably still keep it geared towards that. Britt Baza had sent me a video by one of this British poet that's absolutely wonderful. I haven't had a chance to share it with you, but we are going to play that on Sunday. That also kind of recaps where we are at in this world. So you can look forward to that. Sean and Tracy, some of our favorite UK viewers and friends, we can call them friends now. Tracy had emergency surgery last night, and I want to give you guys an update. She is doing fantastic. She's doing very, very well. And we were going to showcase their presents that they sent to us on Sunday. I don't think we're going to do that yet because Tracy's still in the hospital, and apparently with your wonderful NHS, to me, in my opinion, it's like a daggum third world country if they don't have free Wi-Fi there. Y'all ain't got free Wi-Fi at your hospitals. That's weird. I don't know where I do have. It is Doreen, by the way, Britt, that I'm going to showcase. I don't know. I don't understand this. Why she can't watch our show. She doesn't have free Wi-Fi in the hospital. She's in a ward with 3 other people. She said one of them was absolutely lovely. The other one's eating crisps and chips next to her. And the other lady was up all night shouting. It's strange to me. We have like the Hilton here. I'm telling you, your socialized medicine ain't working the way that you want it to work. Okay? I'm just saying. NHS, no health service, says David Nemeth. Lucky to get a bed off the NHS, let alone Wi-Fi. Exactly. Very, very strange. Will says that World War III is coming. Let's hope that you're wrong, but I do believe that 2018 is in for a massive shakeup. So we will see what happens. We are very, very excited. Wi-Fi and mobiles are banned in NHS hospitals. Well, that can't be true because she is using her mobile phone to message me. So,
maybe I don't know what she's doing.
Kelly says, this is a prosperous year coming up and happy new prosperous year to all. So we will be going live this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our regular UK show. So we want to see you guys there. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory.
If it's the truth.
We love you. God loves you. God bless. And I want to thank you guys, especially for tonight, Sicilian Gal, Christine, and those of you that did subscribe that put us at 10,001. But for supporting us all year long. You have been absolutely amazing. Worth a Look says she's probably been messaging from under the sheets. All right, thanks to our moderators who are here. Kelly, Will, Worth a Look, Maia, Gary, Sooks. I'm trying to think if anybody else was here, but thank you guys. You are fantastic. We love you guys so much. I think that rounds us off. Let's see. Tupac said they get jealous when they see him with a mobile phone. Maybe same for Tracy. I love it. Oh, Buzzy would like a song.
You didn't practice one, so no.
I think we ought to be able to come up with something. Pull something out of a hat.
This is the part of where Michelle sings the silly song.
No.
This is the part where
Silly Songs with Leah. The part of the show where Leah comes out and sings a silly song. That's from VeggieTales.
Yeah.
Come on, you've got something. You always have something.
I don't have anything.
You always have it.
No. The eyes have it.
The eyes do not have it. Oh my gosh.
I don't have anything. I'd have to come up with something. This is why we took
Hang on, wait a
minute.
Wait.
Can.
Because I was for a little while making a list on the
Yeah, but you were making a list of like.
How about what wondrous love is this, or Open the Eyes of My Heart?
The guitar or acapella?
Acapella. Acapella. How about We Are Family?
We are family. I got all my resistance chicks and me and roosters. We are family.
Oh my gosh. You guys, I love that you just stick with us. I don't know why you're here. We're ridiculous. We should be called ridiculous chicks, not resistance chicks.
Which one? Which Wondrous Love is this? Because
I don't know.
Oh, then I don't know.
I'm thinking of the one that's always playing on my bluegrass thing, but maybe that doesn't.
Yeah. I know, but what's the rest to that
this? One? Oh my soul, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this? Oh my soul. What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of bliss
to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, for my soul. To bear the dreadful curse for my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down, sinking down.
Did I go too high?
No, I'm trying to follow you. Just go.
When I was sinking down beneath God's righteous crown, He Christ laid aside His crown for my soul, for my soul. Christ laid aside His crown for my soul. Let's see. I don't know that one. Let's skip to this one. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing and joyful be. And through eternity, I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And through eternity, I'll sing on. What we'll do is we'll practice that with the guitar, because that would probably sound really, really good with the guitar. But you don't have any. That's going to go down. You don't have any chords here. You can just make them up.
I don't know. I was going to Google it.
Oh my gosh. So I love that everybody's saying 2017, 10,000, 50,000 subs. You know what? God knows. We will see.
With YouTube censorship, I don't know what's going to happen, but
I love that Aaron says, "Oh, where is my hairbrush?" on the VeggieTale theme. Oh, where is my hairbrush? There's no chords here. What are you going to sing?
I was just going to Google them.
Oh, where is my hairbrush?
I was going to say, "Oh, wondrous love is this
where,
chords."
oh, where?
And then you put chords right here.
All right.
So it's Google, everything's in the box.
But hang on. Did you want me to click on this one?
Right here.
This one right here?
Yeah.
We're going to practice with the people.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this is right. Michelle, make a poll on how we all found you. I would love to do that. Okay, ready? Go. If you can remember what video it was that you watched and made us, or made yourself subscribe to our channel. I love it. While Leah's figuring that out, that is what we're going to do. I want to know what video, or what subject. It doesn't have to be, the video title doesn't have to be. I guess
that's an excellent idea, Zoe. Excellent idea. Danny Kosh ain't no grave. That's a good one. LBC to call to Faraj. Ashley's here. She found us via the Virgin Diaries. She's one of our oldest subscribers. Get it? Oldest, but don't bump ching. She's actually very young. Grace Vanderhall. Let's see. The school system. Kelly came from Big Family Homestead. Barry says, I stumbled across you in January one night and stayed ever since. Redneck says, found you by accident. I think I was looking for Christian videos. Will says, your first vid, woot for this channel. I can't believe you found us from our first video. Gary says, it's been so long, I can't remember. Say Perfect says, Maia, his beautiful sister, got him there. I'm going to guess that Sooks obviously found us via Ashley because they are very good friends. Did you figure it out? I found you because a nice person said, check out these resistance chicks. Says, so what? Did they really? That's awesome. David says, it was the hair and hairstyles that got me. Chris Holman found us from the Vegas shooting.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. That's really exciting.
If you can start it out, this will work.
Keep going. I don't think that's right.
It is. This is.
soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul. Can I just make it up?
No,
I can't just make it up. Let's see.
We're doing it our own way.
Christian Soldier says Faraj, I think. Jim West says Martin Schultz recommended them, right? So what? Really? Redneck says first video I saw, you were live. Cecilian Gal says can't remember first video, but about 1.5 years ago. So she's been with us for quite a while.
Wow. So you came over from.
I love what Will says. I was looking for a recipe for Borky Trutha da meatballs and found ya. Ha ha. Very funny. Sing Thundercats. Really? That really? You think, really? That's what's gonna happen? No. No, not gonna happen.
I guess we're not gonna find that.
Okay. Well, what was the other one that I just said? The one you didn't want to sing because it's a churchy song.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Come on, because that one I know that you can play. Aaron says, I still have no idea how I know you. Could go back 20-ish years. I don't feel old enough to be able to say that. Frankly, I just don't. I don't think that that's a real thing. So we're just going to pretend that we did not meet in youth group, and youth group was not 20 years ago. Okay, that's right. Let's see. Martin Schultz did not do it. I want to keep him chained on a leash on my balcony. Yeah. God brought me here, says Gary.
Yay. Awesome.
I don't think you can check on YouTube to see how long ago you subscribed to somebody. I wish you could, though.
Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see.
John Daniel used to live in Hillsborough down the road from us. Now he's back in England.
To see. Really?
Love that.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord.
Open the eyes
of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord.
Open the
eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Oh, I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. You have to go back up. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Oh, yes, Lord. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Oh, I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. As we sing holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Yes, Lord. I want in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Oh God, you're holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy God. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. I want to see you.
There you go.
Yay.
Normally that song is played very like the boom, you know, but I kind of like it really mellow, you know, like where it's just where you can really just say holy, holy, holy. All right, so what?
Two different ways of singing, yeah.
Well, I've heard it like on the radio and stuff when they always sing it. It's always, you know. All right, so I think, could we get Mom to sing on Sunday? We ought to get her in the background to sing. Our mom can sing. Maybe we can twist her little arm. No, I don't actually want to twist anyone's arm. Okay, so we'll try to come up with something. So Britt Bosley, you had asked for something. The crypto song for Nigel. We're too late today for that, but perhaps maybe on Sunday we will work that out. So I think that will do us for tonight. If you guys actually have any song suggestions, go ahead and submit them to me in the email, and we will see what we can do about covering them. We may not, but go ahead and submit them. You never know what may come. I'm not going to promise that we'll do every single submission, but we like to appease when we can. Dude, I tried Jerusalem. If that doesn't show that we try to appease, I don't know what will. All right, guys, we're going to sign off now. Thank you for being with us. Practice. How did you say that exactly? Practice.
Practice makes perfect. When we don't practice, we have to.
You know what? You just wing it, and it's okay because you guys are family. And if you were hanging out in our living room, that's exactly how it would have sounded without practice.
I like What Wondrous Love Is This. I wish I could find the guitar for it.
You know, practice it.
Practice it.
Practice it. All right, you guys. Good night. Here it goes.
I wish I could get like the viewers to sing this. I was called all alone. I bet. We're going to do that every day. So afraid. I bet but you called my name.
We're gonna get Maia's whole family calling in via Skype.
Say what's like, say what?
Yep, it's gonna happen.
Sing a song.
All right.